that at the right beginning of it because I usually just start mid conversation with the recording, and it was swamp gas.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that swamp gas. If you see swamp gas, there's a Shrek nearby.
Oh,
That's how you find Shreks.
I posted. Oh, I said to double check. Like, did I post the stream stuff on my channel or on Rathalos? I'm afraid that one time suddenly
Oh no,
a pony's gonna pop up.
and then everyone just leaves, going ooh pony. Not ponies. That horse dancing.
Discord notification. Yeah, that's actually I did do that once. We had a while back. We did a Monster Hunter stream, and I advertised it on there, but I had an issue with the stream PC because I didn't have a stream PC and it overloaded my normal, so we had to redo it again. But I think at one point we had like 150 people on Twitch, just because that account has a much bigger pull. It would have been a lot more if we would have had it on the first day. I think I could have broke 200 because we were like 180, I think, at one point that day. But then because we weren't able to actually do anything, we had dropped back down.
Sorry, Nolan. Rathlos is expensive. Couldn't get him today. He does have a website.
What's he on Twitter? And that, you said Rathles.
Raffles. It's a rascally Raffles. Reminds me of like a fighting Rathalos and Cuphead. It's like, oh, it's the big mighty Rathles. Gotta get him. Art God Damon. I get it, because he's doing art. Or that's a misspelling, I'm not sure.
Yeah. One of those.
It's one of those things. I would just stick with the intentional art.
Hey, Jinxie.
Art Go Damon. There you go. Intentionals. Yes.
Al's first mission didn't exist. Nope, it's always been Edward. You were definitely first, 100%.
Who is this Nolan you speak of? Those texts.
Oh, Kite.
Yes, hello. How are people doing
Oh,
today?
good to go. Hello. Oh, hello. It is Friday. It's a good day. And we got more Starlight. I actually haven't finished this. But I actually did quite a bit, though.
But you're going to get it done in 2 weeks, just like you said.
No, I wanted to get it done for being released today, but realistically, if I were to do that, it would have taken me a lot of time, because I could have done it this afternoon, but then I would have to render it, which is going to take most of the afternoon away. Just locking the computer down, that's better overnight. So I was like...
And you still need to do the Scooby-Doo run scene.
No. So everything in here was done, and I went and finalized this part. So this is all her mains and stuff is done here. I need to add some sound effects. Without it, that's kind of just depressing.
I think her mouth is a little bit too wide, because it stops being funny and starts being a little bit body horror.
Body horror?
Horror. I said horror.
I heard horror.
Yes, well, that's not very nice to say about Starlight there. But it's a little bit body horror-ish. Like her jaw has come unhinged. I don't know.
Just catch up on the other things. I'm gonna especially have to watch earlier today. Well, I'm hoping that wasn't anything too bad. It's almost Turkey Day. Actually, our Friendsgiving is tomorrow, so we have a bunch of people coming over. I have a turkey that I got free from work, and we're making a bunch of other food and having a friend day.
Yes,
we've done it.
I have more work to do.
I did it 2 years ago, and then I couldn't really do it last year because the COVID stuff.
The stars aligned and destroyed Thanksgiving last year. what happened.
But yeah, you have a voice
Like
impression.
Whole Final Fantasy like epic scene about it. Voice impression. Oh, I have to destroy your microphone. Okay, well. Why? What world? What world? Dead.
I'm like a smoker.
Oh. Everybody dying. They probably smoked a lot, so. So everybody who didn't smoke's immortal now. Yay! Sorry, people who smoked.
Ooh, maybe blue formula.
Oh, look at that.
Purple back.
Is that it's what does it say on the back? I want to read it. Drug facts. I love drug facts. Oh, they're boring.
It's actually like
It's like
ingredients.
legit.
Normally they're supposed to mess with you.
Yeah. At least they like have the fake phone number on there.
Nickel has potential. He could be a voice actor.
I can do all of 2 voices.
Yeah, I think I could maybe do bubbles as a particle effect, but even then, I don't know. But particle effects like that normally don't really work the way you'd want them to. Michael just died. Stream calling 911. No swatting.
Don't worry, Edward. I died years ago.
Yeah. I'll think about that for later. But I did finish, or not finish, but I did a lot of the work on here. So this is mostly done.
I'm a unicorn from hell, and I'm coming for you.
Call 411, yes.
Coming for you.
But what I haven't done is the face details on any of this. So,
I'm a unicorn from
yeah, her
hell,
eyes and everything are just static.
coming for you.
Man, she got a lot more head movement than I was expecting.
Yeah, because I
For you. Coming for you. Hell, and I'm coming. Hell, and I'm
I want to potentially wanted to have her kind of do like a head shake on the way up here. I don't know how well it's gonna work. Head shakes are tough.
coming. I'm coming for you. I'm coming.
He's not doing the world service by enriching our reality. He's replacing our reality.
Coming for
With
you.
horses. Better.
Coming for you.
You just gotta make enough content for an entire lifetime. We never have to go back. Get on it. I said you need to make enough content so that we never have to return to reality.
Oh,
So every hour of every day we need new horses.
every hour I need to make an hour of content.
Yes.
Sure.
Until the day you die, and then after that, because
That is what we're doing when we're streaming. We're
Huh?
making content at the rate of.
No, you need to like.
It is.
I just need all the horse videos forever and always.
Yeah, thank you. I support that notion. No, I'm not stream 24/7. There are streamers that do that though. Well, they'll stream literally.
They stream themselves sleeping.
Yeah,
That's
they'll do
upsetting.
and I thought about doing like long stream stuff like that, but the idea would probably be to trade off, like do a whole day of streaming, but then like during this time have somebody else stream on the same channel, but just have it like everything directed.
Oh, okay, so you pass the ball between people.
Yeah.
Because I thought for a moment there was just like 8-hour streams of watch this person sleep.
No, there.
And it's just,
Some of the biggest some streamers have gotten popular just because during a stream they just fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just sitting in their chair and they just fell asleep, but then everybody starts calling in everybody, so chat fills up with hundreds of people that are all just waiting for him to wake up.
I remember when Jay did that one time.
But he did it. He literally thought he cut the stream and then went to bed.
Went to bed and we all watched him go to sleep. Like, is he getting up? Is this a joke? It's not a joke. He's going to bed.
At least he didn't get naked or something.
No, he didn't. He was in his clothes, thankfully.
First time streaming 20 hours being a derpy flesh. How many channel points for a Michael sleep stream? I don't know, Michael. How many points? Any number you give, they can find.
No, I'm not gonna. No, just no. You're not allowed to watch me sleep. I don't wear pants.
She
Because
heard
pants are the devil.
you. She heard you, Michael.
Oh no. She's like, oh, what are pants? What is this pants you speak of?
Oh no. Oh no. No pants.
Oh, what?
Bad.
In a Lyra video.
Scarred for life.
So many scars. Need pants to cover up those scars.
Underpants.
No,
Underpants.
don't even talk about those.
Why do we even do lip syncing? I can just do this.
I ask that question all the time.
I'm making words.
Like, you could
so
definitely,
many words.
if you absolutely just did not care, you could pump out a video every stream. But you would have to very much not care about any of it.
No, that's kind of what the Twitch Directs is. And when we did Make My Way Down the Milky Way, that's what that was. It was rushed. So
I think it would be fun to do stuff like that, but you would run out of ideas for that so quickly.
eating streams really eerie. Yeah, that'd be a little weird. The sleeping ones are creepy.
But I can see an audience for it.
Yeah, but
Mostly.
some of those people that do these like super marathons, I can understand it. It's part of the marathon. Why not? But
I've seen streamers do like a 24-hour stream before. I don't know why they torture themselves like that, but people do it. I'm too old for something like that. I'd hit like, well, guys, here we're starting in late. It's 9:40. It's like 9:45. It's too exhausting. I'm out. I'll wake up in 10 hours. You can watch me eat like a bran muffin.
yeah, if I was younger, I think I would be more off for it. I just don't think I'd have the energy to maintain a stream that long anymore.
You just keep like 2 pots of coffee right next to your computer the whole time.
But all that's going to do is keep you on edge, and you're not going to be. You're still going to wear out, and when you wear out, you're not going to really be providing entertainment anymore.
Have you reached the level of old like I have where you can down a cup of coffee and then still go right to bed because you're just tired?
It depends on how quickly it is to go to sleep.
Like I've had several times where I'll just down like an iced coffee and then 30 minutes later go to bed, just fall right to
Why?
sleep. Iced coffee tastes good.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah. I had a period in my life where I was buying like those 4-packs of Frappuccinos.
Oh, that's good for you.
Regularly. Yeah, no, it was horrible. But I would just drink those and nothing else. Just Frappuccinos all the time.
Hello, Rinse guy.
My car was just filled
we can't get. I was gonna say hello, but they don't count. There's
But no, wait, that's my new best friend.
Wow.
Look at him. He's beautiful.
Gone.
Oh no.
Your friend has been deleted.
I was gonna watch
Cooking
him
stream. Oh, there's plenty of those out there.
watch him stream or sleep stream. We could do a cooking video.
I don't know what to cook though, because most stuff. Well, also a lot of that is you need 2 things to do a cooking stream. You would need multiple cameras and then somebody to change between them. And I have 2 cameras now, but you would need somebody that would be just directing and swapping cameras as needed.
We can show them how to make bachelor spaghetti.
But who would be the one controlling all the camera stuff?
You, of course.
No, because you would be live. You'd be the one doing the interaction.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cook the spaghetti.
No, but you have to have 2 cameras.
Why?
Because if all they're doing is watching you, they're not seeing what you're doing.
Hold it up.
What is this, like chemistry class?
Like, bachelor spaghetti is pretty straightforward. It's a brick of ramen that you make. You drain off all the water. You add the flavor packet because it's delicious, and then you open up a can of sloppy Joe and you throw it on top. Boom, spaghetti. It's delicious. I'm sure people want to see that.
Oh, super streams, no cooking. A cooking stream with Argo and Michael where they engage in a heated debate about whether it's casserole or hot dish. I don't know. He's actually used the term hot dish only because he made something, and so he was.
And it was hot dish, right?
Technically, I think yes.
I fear you're crossing a dangerous line.
No, because hot dish's definition has a couple things. I mean, the only thing you didn't really have in there was vegetables.
Yes, there's vegetables. I had beans, red beans.
That's like the borderline vegetable.
How is that that's a vegetable? What if green beans can be a vegetable? Red beans can be a vegetable.
Well, I don't think that they're like as nutritious and covering the spectrum. It's just beans are just more of the flavor that was in there. The flavor was very consistent. It was one flavor in the entire thing.
It was Cincinnati chili flavor.
It was chili, tater tots, cream cheese, and beans.
And cheese.
Yeah, but that all was very heavy
And
stuff.
onion.
That's what, like, when I make it, I like to put in a lot of like lighter things in there, so that's such a varied flavor, and every bite is something different. Otherwise, it's like that's why like when I make hot dish, I can eat so much of it because every bite is different.
Upset I'm better at making hot dish than he is.
Took a crap in a 9x12 pan and they call it a hot dish.
It's harsh. Let's start light up too.
I don't want to have her close her eyes, but I want to have them get close.
I could make all my favorites from back home, just hot dog tacos and like I used to get so much. I used to eat quesadillas all the time. We're gonna have to do something with that. Reminds me, we got to do something with all that sour cream we got in there because I got way too much sour cream.
You bought literally 13 pounds of green beans.
We'll probably use at least half of them.
13 pounds.
It's not that bad. People can eat. We're gonna have a lot of maybe.
No, you're assuming that
we'll have
everybody's
at
going to
least
eat everything.
A little bit of everything.
No, not everybody. I like certain things.
Well, you gotta eat your vegetables. It's very important. I am gonna soak them in bacon, but they will still technically be vegetables. Hot dog tacos were great because beef is expensive, Nolan, and hot dogs are a good replacement. Just
Beef is not expensive.
Beef is expensive. Hot dogs are cheap. But word to the wise, don't put a hot dog in a blender. It doesn't work out like you hope. Take that as a good piece of advice.
Let's see if I can come down a little bit.
Hot dog nachos actually sounds really good. Actually, I'd eat that. Would you eat hot dogs with like little bits of hot dog or nachos? Little bits.
You
of
eat hot dogs with little bits of hot dog.
little bits of hot dogs on your hot dogs. Like, Nolan, you have to agree with Silver. We're putting.
I think that is a
Yeah,
requirement.
that is a requirement. Hot dog nachos sounds good.
No.
No, Silver. Why'd you say that?
Boiled hot dogs are the worst.
Not if you.
That's
cook
the only
them-
way Michael makes them.
They're really good if you cook them in the spaghetti, and then the spaghetti gets like the hot dog flavoring with it. No, and I do it all the time. It's good. Whatever. No, they're good for making like chili dogs or conies. Better name.
Michael doesn't care what something tastes like as long as it is cooked. Like
Spaghetti tastes better
I've said
in hot dog
before,
water.
he used to cook his steaks where he would throw the cold steak on a pan, then turn on the heat and flip it about 70 times until it was cooked.
I can't only cook steaks one of two ways: either burnt or way underdone.
Yeah. So no,
I've been trying to find the magic.
he would not sear his steaks. He would literally put it on a cold stove, and he would just keep flipping it until the middle was done, and the outside would be just as done as the inside. And that's not, yes, like silver. It's painful. I had to teach him the ways of searing. Well, what about that one nice steak I got?
That was really good because it was a nice steak.
Yeah, and I also seared the crap out of both sides, and then put the inside to medium rare.
The last time I tried searing, it just burnt all the spices. The kitchen filled with smoke, and I had to open up the window.
Because you seared both sides and still left in the pan. I put it in the oven when I did when I super seared both sides.
Yeah.
So because then you're not going to do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do the oven. It sounded like work.
Yep, he definitely wants a cooking stream now. I probably mentioned this before, but in this house, the fire alarm is called the flavor alarm because when Michael is cooking, it's the indicator that something is done.
Yes, and it's filled with flavor.
Thank you for the resub animation. I'm hoping your Discord is behaving. But yeah, when he went and made the steaks before, or there'd be other times where he'd just be like, "It's not that smoky," and you look into the kitchen and it's literally like a fog going
That
through it.
fire alarm is a little overly sensitive, I think.
I can see it from like 2-3 feet away. Like I can see that it's smoky.
I mean, a little bit. No, I've already cooked like half of the meal for tomorrow. I'm gonna have a lot to do tonight. I gotta make the stuffing tonight, and I gotta prep the turkey tonight.
What are you gonna have left for tomorrow?
The green beans. And then actually just putting everything in the oven. I have it all planned out. I just hope it works as I plan.
Maybe I do want to have her eyes closed here.
Been a long time since I've set a pan on fire.
I've only done it once,
Yeah.
and that was I was trying to get a pan hot, but I put the oil in too late, and the pan was already too hot, and it just started it on fire.
Wow.
But I'm at least smart, and I know. So it's an oil fire, but I know like you don't throw water on.
Throw
that.
it out the window.
No.
Just grab the pan and chuck it out the nearest.
Somebody else's problem. No.
That's nature's problem now.
No. So I knew not to throw water on it, so I just took a lid quick and covered it. But yeah, that was the only time I've ever started a fire.
I did have that propane leak fire that one time, but I was very brave and turned off the valve before it exploded. I'm a champion. Just gotta watch for mice chewing through freaking hoses.
We just had a mouse recently in here.
We did. It's gone now.
Michael chased it down and he strangled it with his little fingers.
So sad. It depleted. It offered me treasures and wishes, but I refused.
I will grant you 3 wishes. All right, wish 1. I wish you to die.
No.
And then wish 2. Wait. Damn. The wrong order.
I should have done it. Yes. Did it the wrong way.
I'm gonna see if I can do
You know,
not so much.
I know it's not the case today, but I remember my mom telling me back when she was younger, TV dinners were like considered expensive, like luxury food.
Yeah, I think in the 50s and 60s when they first came out, they were luxury. No, I don't know about luxury food, but it was the era of convenience. And so yes, convenience was above everything else. I think we still like convenience, but we also do like good quality, putting effort into things.
The idea of giving an entire meal to your family and all you had to do was like stick it in the microwave for 5 minutes. It just blew people's minds.
Remember, kids, if the steak is on fire, it's considered well done. Yeah, okay, I can see that. I like having my steaks like with that nice sear on both sides. That's why with Michael I was like, what are you doing? I once caused a pressure cooker to explode. Oh God, don't even get Michael started.
Because I had that happen to me once.
And whether he said it or not, I knew he'd have a pressure cooker story, and I know he does.
I did. You've heard my pressure cooker
like 3
story.
times. 30 years later, you can still see the splatter pattern through layers of paint. So
Yeah.
I know Michael cannot hold himself back.
I mean, I won't tell it if you don't want me to tell
No,
it.
you can. It's just always funny because you're just like, oh, something depressing about my life.
It's not depressing. It was fun. Like, it was sad at the time because of the 3rd degree burn. Or not 3rd degree, like 1st and 2nd degree.
Hello and goodbye. Well, thank you for the beds. Well, goodbye then.
It was definitely a lot of blistering, but I avoided the blisters. I got thrown. So. No, there was one time, me and my mother, when I was about, I don't know, I was 19, 20. I was still living there. She was making, like, blackberry preserves. And it was the first time we were ever using this old pressure cooker. I'm just talking about, like, big iron pot with the weight on top. Not much to it. And we turned it off and, like, is it done? And neither of us knew. We didn't know how to use this thing. And we're like, well, let's open it up and find out. And my mom's like, the lid's not coming off. I'm like, what do you mean the lid's not coming off? It's like, it's stuck. So I walk over. And
with a pressure cooker, there should be a reason for it.
Yeah, no, there was so much pressure behind the lid. It was holding the lid on.
I know, but that's why it's...
We didn't know that. We just thought it was stuck. We never used a pressure cooker before. Anyway, so I tell her, you hold the pot. I'll grab the lid and turn as hard as I can, and we'll get this off. And so she grabs onto the pot, I grab the lid, and I start turning. Well, pretty proud of myself about this one. I managed to get that lid off and immediately got thrown across the kitchen holding onto that lid for dear life. And unfortunately, the dishwasher was wide open behind me, so I went flying over the dishwasher. Luckily, I didn't land on it. I flew over it and hit my head and was just in a complete daze. Like, I was like shell-shocked. And my mom started screaming, take your clothes off, take your clothes off. Because while I got thrown away, she got hit by the hot boiling water. So she was scalded pretty bad. And she ran into the bathroom to get into the shower to, like, get under the cold water. And the entire time I was just like, just out of it. I was like, I probably had a concussion. But I was just on the floor shocked. Like, it took me a good, like, few minutes to actually collect myself to the point where I was able to stand again. And she came back out. She was okay. She went to the doctor. She had her burns looked at. I wasn't so much burned like she was because I got thrown. But no, that's my pressure cooker story. Those preserves were really good though. Silver lining.
The only
they
time,
were done.
The only time I ever started, or I almost, I was cooking steaks one time and I put it. I had to back up one step. I used to have these nice cast iron, like cookie sheets that I would put down. Like it was from my grandma, and so they're like 100 years old. Back when like it was super thick cast iron. Those things were not going to move, and they were going to last forever. And they're well seasoned, really good. And then when I moved in with my roommate years and years ago, his parents were like, "What are these? They're really dirty. We're going to get you some new pans." So they bought these like super thin, cheaper pans. And I'm like, I mean, they look new, but you can definitely tell, like you can just grab it and wobble it. And so we were making steaks one time and we did the sear thing. We put it in the oven and had it on broil and I put it up towards the top. And we used one of those thinner ones. The problem was that it's so close to the heat at that point because we were doing it like a couple inches from the burner just to get that nice cook on it. That while it's cooking, you hear bam, and the whole thing warped. And when it did, it actually took the steak and put it into the burner. Like it was actually touching the burner. Started smoking like crazy, and like fire alarm went off, and the smoke alarm went off, and we were quickly like getting in the oven to pull this thing out. This whole thing's like super warped. We quickly got it out, cleared all the smoke. The thing had started a flame on the burger or not on the burger, on the steak a little bit.
Yeah.
We're just like, and so we quickly got it like taken care of. We, put it onto the other top and finished them off. One of the best steaks I've ever had. Because it was not just seared, it was literally touching the burner seared.
It sounds pretty tasty.
It was pretty good, but I think also when you have something like that happen, your brain is like, there's something bad happened, and now it's associating all the rest of it with like pretty good things. Like it's a contrast.
I think any story, the crazier it is, if you can walk away from it, nobody's like permanently hurt. It just makes for a good story. That's why, I have a lot of like stories that people tell me are depressing, but I didn't lose a limb to any of them. Oh well, not entirely anyway. And well, no limbs at the very least. But I walked away from them all relatively okay, so they're just fun stories to tell.
I love relatively.
Relatively okay. A little bit of trauma never hurt nobody.
I think that's what trauma is.
Yeah, this is true. I walked into a cookout. Well, the film shot, that's amazing. No, I found a lot of ways to entertain myself when I was younger, which a lot of them were just me being stupid. It was fun. When I was younger, I was the kind of guy who would wander out into the wilderness and then just, with like, I'm gonna do this now. I'll be fine. I got like my buddy with me, and then we would just like go off into the woods and like hang out there and hope to not get lost. Until like whoever owned those woods would chase us out a lot of time. Sure, Edward wants his quotes back.
Okay, we'll do that. Let me see if I can get in there. Might be locked into my YouTube. Okay, no, it's not.
See how quickly he can do this, and then how long he's been like making you suffer without your quotes.
Oh, okay, I just have to turn CloudBot on. Because no, I went in here and I was like, quotes. I'm like, where's the on button? And then I got distracted with something else, and so I never poked at it. I think try it now.
I think it's a quote.
See if it works. If you just do exclamation point quote, it's probably gonna do nothing because there is no quote. First time responsibility as a kid was babysitting my dad. He had a bad habit of wandering off and exploring dangerous places.
Sounds like fun. Dad. Yeah.
I don't know if it takes a second for some of the stuff to kick in.
Might take a minute.
Yeah, because that's the right icon. Or do I have to like enable it somehow?
Look at quote and just add a quote yourself. Pickles are yes, there you go. Pickles are. They just are. Pickles are real, everyone. It's true. I've seen them in magazines.
Added by... There.
There you go.
There, I added one.
There you go. Oh, do you have to add a command?
Oh, that should be default. Yeah. I swear I actually...
Oh, there it goes. I think.
No. This might... No, these are...
Mr. Edward was trying something. I don't know.
I tried adding something, but normally it would pop up with a thing following it. Yeah.
Pickles Monthly, of course. Don't you have it? Got like sweet pickles and dill pickles and sweet and sour pickles and gherkins. This is just another word for pickles.
Okay, well, it's enabled. So whether or not I have to do something... Oh! Yeah, there it worked. Okay, so it just took a bit for it to propagate. There you go.
Yeah. Sir Edward wants his quotes.
Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, there's something else I have to do. Oh God, how did I do this?
You have to remember, the people are counting on you.
There was something I remember doing. Okay, so these one. Oh, here we go.
If you give the mouse a pickle, then he'll want a whole sandwich. If you give a mouse a sandwich, then he's gonna want your soul.
There we go. Okay,
If your
now
mouse
you should
gets
be
your
able
soul,
to. Anybody
you will
that's
become powerful.
a sub, and so you should have that access now. It might take a second.
From hell, and I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
There you go, Edward. You got it back again. See, it was every time I went in there was like I would go click a button, but I had to go like 3 different steps, and it was just. I'm usually very distracted.
He spends as much time looking at horses as I do, so there's no time for anything else. Pickles are, yes. Quote number 1. That was my phone.
Oh, because this is seeing my laptop for work, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have that all shut down.
No, all of my ringtones are boring and like default because I don't care enough. The only thing I care about is the fact that my personal phone has a picture of Derpy on it, and past that, just is. Oh ho ho! I have 5 post-it notes full of quotes. Post-it notes, yes. Add to the stream.
Okay, good. That at least works. I was 5 post notes full. Well, even writing
He's
them
been
down.
writing them down.
Oh, jeez. I read that originally as just 5 post-it notes with 5 quotes, but now it sounds like a lot more than that.
Yes. That one was funny because he didn't say it, and he was very adamant about not saying it, which just made it even funnier.
I think you don't put number 2, Kite. I think you just put exclamation point, quote, space, and then the number. I think that's how it was.
You guys can't see what I'm seeing, but he's got like a huge monitor now over there for the chat.
It changed out. I've been wanting to do like an OLED for gaming and stuff on the side, and because of Black Friday, I was able to get the one that I was looking at for like 18% off, and it was on B&H, and I have the Paybu card, so that was another like 8% savings because of no tax. So I haven't actually. It's an OLED 4K 120 hertz, so I just have to readjust some things. But now it actually chat's kind of easier to read because I can make it bigger and easier. Except for now I have to run things through the graphics card, but the nice thing is the 3060 Ti is much more efficient at running the video through there than 1080 Ti. 1080 Ti would run at like decent clock speed all the time. This one drops down to nothing on normal desktop. It's nice.
I'm just happy they have color TVs now. Makes Gilligan's Island that much better.
But I was playing Deep Rock earlier with HDR, and I was also playing, which I was never really had to play HDR before. And I was also playing Halo on 4K on a 48-inch like
Were you
OLED.
able to play it at epic still, or did you have to reduce it down to like high?
If I played it on Ultra, it would drop down to about 60 FPS every now and then. But if I put it to high, the difference between low and high or an Ultra is like 15% of your frame rate.
Yeah.
It's almost nothing. So I just put it at high. It kept it a little bit more consistent, but really at that point, I can't tell the difference. It was still, the game's gorgeous and runs really efficient.
It's all
but
right.
my big holding back right now is my processor.
Really?
Yeah, because my graphics card's a 3080. That's kicking ass, but I have a 9700K. And so it's 3 generations
You need
old.
two 3080s.
No, and actually, that's probably why like it's running fine in the 4K. Is because this computer's difficulty is lower resolution, higher frame rate, meaning CPU is being bottlenecked. I think I was playing one game and my GPU is taking 30% of load and my CPU is 95. So I just need a new CPU at some point. But it right now is a market where there's a lot of good stuff out there, but a lot of what I would need would be not just a processor, but also a motherboard. And that's like a full overhaul, and I'm just not wanting to do that quite yet.
I feel like I'm going to hold off on any PC upgrades until supply starts meeting demand again. Which could be like a year and a half.
Well, I was at Micro Center the other day, and I like the new Intel chips. All the 12900s were sold out. They had two whole a whole column like wide, like with they could fit like 200 in there, all sold out. 12700s, hundreds of them. So if you want a new processor, those exist, but I'm a little hesitant to jump onto a 12 series Intel right now. Give it like a month or two, and maybe once there's a little bit more updates to things. But my concern is I don't know if SFM would know what the hell to do with it. The nice thing is you can probably go in there and turn off efficiency cores on SFM. It only runs on 2 cores anyway, and just be fine. It wouldn't be swapping, but
I'm assuming that this processor you're speaking of would fit into the slot you currently have.
no.
So you'd have to get a whole new motherboard.
Yeah.
So have you considered any AMDs?
Yeah, well, no, I like the Intel because I like the efficiency core version of it. So when it's sitting idle, it's actually more efficient than AMD's. AMD is just much more power efficient under load. And no, I've considered I looking into AMD, but I'm right now waiting because with the 12 series cards having come out and having that they are slightly better than AMD's current chips, and with AMD's new chips coming out soon, I'm pretty sure that with Black Friday and everything, or maybe not Black Friday, but the prices are going to slowly drop on them, or not slowly, but quickly drop to go in line with Intel.
Yeah.
So buying them right now means I'd probably be like paying more.
It's like I said, buying
yeah.
anything right now seems like a...
No, I'm not worried about it. AMD's got some damn good stuff, so I'm not Intel shilling on this one.
Have you ever used an AMD, or has it always been Intel?
Before my 9700, I think I had an Intel, but before that I had an AMD. It was I can't remember actually.
I think I haven't built a PC with Intel in it since my very first build, which was probably like 15 years ago. So it's been a while since I've bothered with Intel.
No, well, because for the last couple of years, Intel has kind of been lackluster.
No, they always had a good processor. It's just that the price just didn't like. They've always had compatible processors to AMD. It's just their price points were always garbage.
The 9 series was the last time they had good processors. 10 series was good, but they were just power hogs. It gave you performance uplift, but not by much for how much power it was consuming. So you're running hot all the time. And then 11 series doesn't exist, and nobody should buy an 11 series processor. I say that, but I have an 11400, I think, in the stream PC. But it's because that's the lower end. I'm not so worried about it. I think I got it on sale. But maybe it's a 10400. No, it's a 10400. But the 12 series are actually where Intel starts making some actually good stuff. And they're innovating, which is good. It's needed. I don't think that the software and the environments are quite up to par for that yet, but give it time.
Oh, and you're not allowed to have both or like both. you have to prepare for the great processor wars of 2030. So, you know, choose a side or perish in the server flames. That's a thing, isn't it? No. I just kind of assume we're gonna end up like on opposite sides of that. The great processor wars.
Who would have been on opposite sides?
Me and you.
Oh no, I don't. I think AMD stuff's the best right now.
Well, I'm gonna have to join Intel, even though I haven't used one in 15 years.
No, I
refuse to be on the same side.
I like that Intel's finally being innovative, but I feel like the thing is they still just dump power into something to make it run better.
Yeah.
AMD made an architecture that was literally super powerful and ultra power efficient by comparison. I think AMD stuff is kicking ass and it's awesome. But as of right now, I'm just... So if I had to get a processor, it'd probably be like a 5900. I actually would really, now that I'm playing with 4K video, a 5950 would be really nice, but that's just such a big cost investment, and I don't know if I really want to do that.
You have a stupid face.
Oh, I do have a stupid face. Let me catch up with chat here. Ryzen 9 3900 is mine. Yeah, that's a good processor. You're good for a while. That's still better than mine.
I have a Ryzen 9. I can't remember what the...
With SFM, you would want to go faster core or more cores. Yeah, but at this point, it doesn't matter. I don't care about processing and efficiency in SFM because anything I get is literally going to be negligible. And I actually feel that some of the issues I've ran into with SFM have to do with the fact that the processors are much, much faster than the software is now. So a lot of the mistimings, I don't remember having some of those issues as much. I don't remember having as many of the render errors that I used to have in terms of like the beginning of the frames, but because I think it's running faster than it anticipated or is used to running. So I don't really need something built for SFM. I want to be built to run all the current modern stuff. SFM is like, it's like saying you're trying to build a computer to run a software from Windows 95 days and you want to optimize for it running. No, I don't care about that. Anything you do nowadays is going to kick his ass. So back when I started SFM, when I upgraded my graphics cards from like I had two 970s, because SFM does not utilize a Crossfire SLI, I upgraded from two 970s to a 1080 Ti. That was actually a noticeable jump because that was still within that hardware range. When I went from the 1080 Ti to the 3080, I noticed no difference.
You know, I'm gonna need you a Pentium 4. Just for Source Filmmaker. Those things were pretty fast for like single core processors.
Oh yeah, if you're looking for just pure single core, some of the old processors were awesome. The problem was they were like fast. The sun. They were fast, but speed isn't everything. It's architecture.
Yeah.
And the old architecture just isn't as good as the architecture today.
I remember how creative people used to get back in the college days when the Pentium 4 was the big. That's kind of aging myself, but that was the big processor when I was in college, and there really wasn't anything better for a really long time. Like now it's like every couple, not even every couple years, but like every year, if not twice a year, the big new processor comes out. And Pentium 4 had like a 3-year run where it was the processor because they hadn't figured out like multi-core yet. It's just a single processor that had hyper-threading, which was kind of made it act like a 2-core processor, but it wasn't.
Well, that's the one thing that actually kind of is rough with mine is I the 9700 that I have. I got the stupid face. I'll get to that. It was 8-core, but it's no hyper-threading, so it's just a pure 8-core. Mm-hmm. And if I think the 9900 was 8-core with hyper-threading, so it's 16. That would have probably made a big difference on some things. But I wanted to save some money then, but that was back when my income was significantly lower, and it was much harder to afford that kind of thing.
Yeah. What made the Pentium 4 days interesting, though, is because it was the only real processor for like a good 3 years, the only thing you could do to make your computer run faster, and some programs started demanding that it would, was to overclock the heck out of it.
Yeah, but you could overclock those to high hell.
Well, that's only because people were like, getting really creative with the cooling. That's when water cooling was like really big and almost a necessity towards the end. And there was this one guy who showed up who pretty much just had a jet fan blowing on his PC. He would turn this thing on, and the sound it made was atrocious. It was
yeah, that's not good.
No, it was because it
But-
was so loud.
Performance back then, you'd run your Doom at 40
Mm-hmm.
FPS. For my next computer, I wanted to go like an AIO.
I don't know what that is. You abbreviated something.
All in one. It's water cooling where it's not a custom loop. Where all the water cooling is built in.
Oh.
You still have a radiator and whatever, but it's all pre-tubed. I don't want to do custom tubing. It's not. There's a lot more maintenance and stuff with that. Another question, but will we see any more Karen Shepard? Also, hi, I made it. Hello, Brony. Probably. I do want. I played Mass Effect 1 and then I stopped. Actually, I do want to go back to doing some of that. I just haven't. Once I start it, I want to finish it and that like in a decent time fashion. So I just haven't dedicated a time frame to actually do anything with that. But I do want to go back to that for sure because Mass Effect 2 is probably my favorite from the series. So
I kind of always figured the first 3 Mass Effect games were just kind of all the same game. Just
no, Mass Effect 1 was trying to be a standard RPG. So like it was not as much of a gunning thing. It was more of an RPG. Then in Mass Effect 2, they tried to like split it where Dragon Age took over the heavy RPG, standard RPG, and then Mass Effect took RPG but more with the gunner focus, gunning like the 3. So that actually, and it did a nice little balance. Then Mass Effect 3 just went from Mass Effect 2 and tried to enhance that, and they definitely did. And then the ending sucked.
yeah, well, debatable sucked. Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. We'll have to wait for the next Mass Effect to know for sure.
Are they really continuing the story from 3 this time?
Well, they had Liara Tassoni in the trailer, so
Okay.
I'm assuming. I don't know. It could be like for 400 years in the future. She could be old. She could be a matriarch. For stupid face.
Probably why they showed her, because if it is sooner than that, then you would.
Yeah,
know.
she's the only one that they can get away with doing that. So that's why, because they had her and nobody else.
Yeah. For all you know, Shepard's still alive.
He's a Reaper now. He's just flying through space, and there's a giant Shepherd.
Wasn't the one ending where you actually destroy all the robots? They kind of show that he could be alive on that one.
That one, that's working off of the, what do you call it, the indoctrination theory, but the fact that scene exists at all
that scene
means that something is unique about that.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody had to put the effort in to build that entire scene and put it in.
Yeah, where it shows him.
Oh, Red Arrow. AMD is amazing for the cost, but if you use Thunderbolt, you need to go Intel. I thought that AMD was working to do some kind of integration of Thunderbolt. I don't know, not yet, but I thought they were going to, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to stick with Intel, because I wanted to originally move my case to another room and then use Thunderbolt to stream the entire computer to another location. But because of how my setup is kind of set up, especially now, like running a 480 or a 4K 120 hertz monitor that consumes such data that the Thunderbolt might have some issues. So I'm probably going to not do that, which means that I don't care. I'm not using Thunderbolt now because I don't have it on my board. No, I want to get my processor through Micro Center because you get a discount on their motherboard when you get it there, and they price match everything. And they barely even check. I went and picked up a new keyboard there recently, and I did a price match. And all they did was look at the title of it and say, okay. Like, I could have just made it up.
Yeah.
And they're just, which is awesome. I always make it right, but
No, I mean, they just work there, right?
the managers are the one that do it.
Yeah.
Most people like their job over there. I'm trying to think what to do for a stupid face.
I mean, it's probably a no pressure job.
They get probably a good discount. They get to work with nerdy stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I already did that.
I like my job, but my job can be pretty high pressure sometimes. If I mess something up, it can cost like a lot of money. or a lawsuit. Hey, Derpy. Hey, it's just so cool. You gonna feed her muffins for stupid? Because I know you. You like being nice to Derpy. Hello, Red Arrow. Yes, hello. Is going. He's making lots of derpies, so I am intrigued and pleased. Looks like she's singing like that He-Man song, like hey yeah.
He-Man song?
Yeah, it's the He-Man song. Like, I'm sure it has an actual name, but nobody remembers it. The He-Man song now. But hey, what's going on? Got your derpies in the door and they hear the sounds of muffins baking. And they can't get down because they got muffins. That's what's going on. I miss my calling as a music writer. Oh, them derbies. They're escaping. Like, no, them derbies gotta get back in there.
Okay. Here we go. I'm not gonna turn the lights on because it's probably gonna be too tough.
Oh, they're escaping. Get them out. We release the derbies. She's like, oh no. So many derbies. See the come. They're angry. Wonderful.
I think it's gonna crash before I do this.
We did all the derbies.
Me too.
Escapes.
Okay, I can save it.
It's like they've escaped my boo player. No. Like this old burning shack was just like my hideaway where I kept all the derpies.
There it is.
Oh,
I knew it was gonna happen. I opened the model library previously.
what would you say went wrong? What would you say went wrong?
Went wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Dual library.
No.
I opened one library. It saturated my library count, and then when I opened a second library, it broke the limit.
It's not the correct answer.
There's too many derpies.
No. What do you think went wrong? Yeah, I know, you're an artistic in you.
Went wrong.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what went wrong.
Yay! You did it! I just don't know what went wrong. There you go. You're learning. Fine. Where's hair going?
Maybe.
Maybe I'm crazy. No. Doing. Why do I keep seeing dog park? Oh no. Derpy dogs. Who would ever turn Derpy into a dog? It's crazy.
There we go.
Escapes. No.
They're angry.
There he is. They're gonna get you. You're gonna eat Trixie.
Oh, she's pulling.
You cannot.
Oh.
Not to do with the derpies.
I like this more than the original.
That's not good.
It's so good. I know. I kind
And you're like, yeah, you're at a crossroads suddenly. Oh no, I feel it. You feel it? It's the power of scope creep. It's coming. I'm gonna save this one.
I'm not done.
Oh no. Who let the derps out? Roof, 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 roof. Put that clip on the Argo Zone. I wish to watch it later.
That is up to.
Hmm?
Well.
No, they clipped it. So.
Oh. They're angry.
They're angry.
I can't put it up on Argozone, kind of. You can do the shorts, but that requires it actually be vertical, like TikTok.
Weird.
Which is, yeah.
I also went out of drink.
Use the rest of the ginger. Don't throw away my limes. Put it back in there.
What if I really, really want?
Par-delà le temps, la menace grandit. Si loin dans le silence, on entend ses cris. Par-delà les terres, son nom fait frémir. Préparez-vous, le néant arrive. Les gens ne se trompent point, de la peur il se nourrit. Ô grand guerrier, je prie pour ta vie. À chaque eau, le soleil faiblit. Fuyez mes amis, le néant est ici. Ah, 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 ah.
Yeah. And then add a couple more in here. Trying to add it to the quotes. All right, so then looks great. Okay. So there.
Seems like a strong drink. It might just be the smell of the ginger.
Made it a little stronger, but with the ginger, it's fine. All right, so here we go, Michael. We're good.
Cacturus.
Oh wait, where's the explosion?
Cacturus.
Oh, they got it muted this way. Wait, let me try it again.
Maybe you should just release them both as one video.
Wait, Starlight's
Starlight's in there. Yes! You need to have both, because you just, like, quickly made the other version. Which is really good.
So what?
I said now you have two versions of this video, and they're both amazing. But now I feel like you should almost release the first, like, as a two-parter, where you have, like, this one, and then you, like, alternate version, this one, all as the same video. I'd want to see both.
That should be a bit better. There we go.
Darpa is
It's a very, very angry derps. Oh god.
this is very good. So many Darpas. Go on, get her.
There's a tennis ball.
See, people, they want both versions.
Probably doesn't need to be so long then. Cut it.
Or you could have just had like one derpy picking up the rear.
Mm-hmm. Would be a blooper for when Argo reaches 1 million subs. That was the idea behind it. Is that there's no effort to it.
I'm talking about there's a lot of effort in it. It's just that, like a lot of the effort was already done.
Mm-hmm. So that's fine. Now I can just go and go back to the other one. So it's not a bad idea to have stuff like that around. And I'm never gonna hit 1 million subs, so whatever.
It depends. You just gotta go to Subway and get a lot of like punch
No.
cards.
At the current rate I'm going, it would take my entire lifetime. So it's not gonna happen. Thank you for the follow, Eurobeat. There'll be a blooper. You do, however, need to know Halo Wars 2.
They have 2 versions.
Wait, I'm just trying to. Might have said so. Oh, we're gonna need to know Halo 5 story for Halo Infinite. Probably not. Wait, no, yes. Because in Halo Infinite, you have an AI with you that sounds like Cortana, but it's not Cortana. She's still missing, and you don't know why or the whole thing that happened with Cortana unless you've known while playing Halo 5.
I haven't played 1 through 4.
But if you don't want to play it, just do what I did and just go on YouTube and look up all the cutscenes. There's usually people that do cutscene compilations. Some are better than others. You can get the whole story. And that's all you really need.
I've played 4 of the Halo games. 5, I think, because I played that one where you're just a soldier. And the entire Halo experience can be summed up as aliens are attacking, but some of them are nice, and you have a moody AI.
Theo did bring up, though, that Halo Wars 2 is somewhat important. I think it was going to be a little bit less so, because they bring up the Banished, and the Banished are an enemy from Halo Wars 2. If you...
Is that the RTS?
Yeah.
I think I played the first one.
Though I think if you have the Xbox Game Pass, I believe Halo Wars 2 comes with that. If you have... blah blah blah. What do you call it?
Blah blah blah.
No, Nitro. I believe you do. If you have Nitro, I believe they gave away 2 Xbox months of premium not long ago.
I think I didn't even know there was a Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, Halo Wars 2. I think was actually pretty good. Halo Wars 1 was.
I played it. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, it wasn't really an RTS because it had RTS elements, but it was more.
It was
linear.
an RTS.
It was an RTS, but there wasn't like as much of heavy base building. And when I was playing the main story, it was like mainly about moving forward and doing objectives, not actually building a base up.
Yeah, which was depressing.
Yeah, but that's because it was kind of a thinking outside the box.
I don't know. It kind of felt. I played games similar to that in the past, but they always kind of felt like flops to me.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really looking forward to Infinite now that I've played around with or Infinite single player. With the multiplayer, I'm very much enjoying that, and I can definitely see some fun of running around in the single player. And it sounds like it's going to be if you're spending $60 for a single player Halo experience without the multiplayer, to me that means that they have to give you more than any other single player experience from
You're
before.
jinxing it.
So
it's going to be
but
like
and it looks
5 minutes long.
No, it looks like they're giving you quite a bit, and as they keep adding content over time too.
It's going to be like, this is Master Chief. He is your friend. Here's the Arbiter. He's also your friend.
No, I don't know if the Arbiter's going to be in there. The one guy from Halo 5 that I guess was pretty bland is now in here and more interesting. I think the characters are supposed to be much more interesting. And the animation, to me, actually feels less detailed than Halo 5, but it's because they brought it back to the roots of stuff, so it feels cleaner and smoother compared to Halo 5 trying to be more Call of Duty by adding all these little extra details. I really like the look of Infinite right now.
Why is her hair in her mouth?
It's just her hair being messy. And I realized that her hair, if on her old hair, if I did it for these shots, didn't look nearly as good. So I put it back to the old hair.
I'm actually pretty happy to hear that.
I don't like the look of it as much for this shot.
It just fit better. I'm gonna get this word wrong. Chronologically? I think I got it right.
I'm gonna see if I feel like her eyes don't make it feel like it gets like that like wah look.
Wow. He is purple. She's upset she didn't get in Smash, isn't she?
Well, because I feel like for this,
Or like for Smash.
but I don't
That's
like
the fairies.
I don't like mid I feel like if I were to do this, nobody would really notice that change. Or they would notice the change, but they wouldn't see the change. Because it would look like this. It does this like weird half thing where you see both. So it kind of makes it like a one frame transition. But, and I can technically use, well, no.
Cause her to blink. while
There's
she's
an,
doing
there's a, what is, no, these are the revamped, but there's the augmented. So it's like we're trying to be like Deus Ex or something, but there's augmented where the eyes are actually way more detailed, but they're also super memory intensive because they have like multiple frames to actually animate the eyes doing things. I did that for Twilight when her eyes did this at the end of this one when they kind of did that weird eye thing. That's the augmented models. They actually have these pre-made textures that allow you to do this. Though technically I didn't do fixes on it, so when it happened, you can still see that little transitionary bit period where it wasn't. I should have actually did each of those manually rendering so that it didn't have that like blur, but whatever. And that whole background was done in SFM too. I can't remember what I did with those.
Stars.
There were 4-hour gameplay interview with the devs that was Barley getting into the first act of the game. You're also doing the thing where they're dropping you into a time when everything has already happened and you're putting the pieces together. Oh, okay, that's cool. No, I love Halo stuff. I dropped off of or out of Halo after Halo 3. I didn't play after that point when they said like that's the last Halo. I stopped caring. I played Reach. And not there into the multiplayer or anything.
Was that 4 we were playing with Nolan Silver earlier? That I kind of disappeared partway.
Probably. No.
Or was it 3? It was 3 or 4.
I think it was 3. Yeah, we were playing 3.
Yeah, then I don't think I've played I think I have 4. I don't think I've played the campaign for it yet.
You have 4. It comes with the MCC.
Yeah. I don't think I've played the campaign of that one. I definitely haven't played 5. Is it good? Is 5 worth getting?
5 was probably the worst of the series.
Okay, then no.
It's not that well, there's 4 and it's not on PC.
Oh, really? They have 1 through 4 and then Infinite, but not 5.
They had 1 through 4 and Reach and ODST, but they didn't have 5 because before Infinite, it was the only other game. It was the most recent, so they've kept it on its own.
Do you think they'll add it to the?
Maybe, but it would seem weird to add it there now.
Oh, they haven't added it anywhere else on PC. I think Halo 4 was great in its own way.
Halo 4 was okay. I don't think it was. It at least still felt like Halo. Halo 5 was where they started going and being a little weird.
But when he says Halo 4 was great in its own way, that's like talking about the kid who gets his tongue stuck on the flagpole over here. It's like, he's great in his own way. Not in the thinking before acting way, but no, in his own way. Coloring inside the lines most of the time way.
Yeah. No, I did enjoy 4. I haven't finished it, but I've watched all the cutscenes and stuff, so I know the game anyway. And I have never played 5, but I've only heard kind of negative things about 5.
Is that the last one Bungie worked on? Or?
No, Bungie's last one was 3 or ODST. I think they did Reach. No, I think they did Reach. So Reach is probably the last one. And then Halo 4 was when 343 took over, which is a lot of devs from
Bungie.
Yeah, a lot of Bungie moved over to 343. The thing is then Microsoft controlled the narrative, and that's where it started going in a weird direction.
That's why I kind of feel iffy about all future Fallout. I'm a huge Fallout fan, but now Microsoft owns Bethesda.
I think Spartan Strike was a phone game. I can't remember. There's a Halo Waypoint app you can download. You can actually like customize your character in Halo Infinite on your phone. While I was downloading Halo Infinite, I actually customized my character on my phone. So when I jumped in, there was already done.
I worry that Bethesda they invested too much into Elder Scrolls Online and it didn't kind of work out for them. Now Microsoft owns that stuff.
I'm gonna pull the. From here to here, transitionary period right there. No, that's the dead blink. We're gonna do it there.
Spartops. Spartops line.
One of the things that was actually kind of annoying was I had to go through all the wood that's coming out of the building, and there was a bunch that were clipping her, and I had to manually move them all to not to clip her.
I feel like my experiences with Halo by proxy.
It was my childhood, man. Like,
Yeah.
or it was not my childhood, I guess, but it was the heyday of my gaming time. Like back when I was in high school and just out of high school. That was a very influential period for gaming for me.
It just tells, like, the difference between you and me is you were probably like a Xbox gamer and I was already a PC gamer, so during that same time.
A console gamer.
Yeah, console gamer.
Because my computer kind of sucked.
Yeah. I was, back in my early high school days, I was playing, like, Half-Life and Doom, and it was all PC titles, BioShock. Those were what I was playing. So I didn't get to do Halo because Halo wasn't on PC.
It did go to PC, but it was a
Eventually.
very bad port.
1 and 2 did, I think, and then 3 took it. I think it only came out this newest thing.
So I have an up and down for the eyes right now, and I'm just basically just going back and forth, just drop them a little bit.
Oh, hair's escaping.
It's fine. If I hold this here, the jiggles don't activate, so they get kind of weird. No, so like this is the peak, so I just kind of go boop, put it up a little bit.
I just one of her cheeks looks like it's caving in. Looks malnourished.
I haven't given the engine time to undo it.
Like, eat me. There it goes. I'll back out.
I gave it time. Oh, so then we gotta go down because she's blinking.
He's a blinking.
Too quick.
Cutting into her face. So much pain.
But she's screaming.
Yes.
Also, I twisted the jaw a bit on some of
See
these.
that.
It adds a
That looks
lot of.
painful.
To me, the twisting of the jaw adds more emotion. Like, you could probably get away with twisting the jaw to add more detail than putting in a lot of detail in the animation. Twisting jaws is amazing on what you can get away with on some of your details.
Is that the case with the older models or?
That is the case with any of them. Is that I do it a lot with Rathalos, because with Rathalos,
Rascally Rathalos.
His whole thing is simplicity and trying to minimize flexes, so I can make things easier on myself by using the twist to get away with extra emotion and detail without having to add more flexes. And it's super easy. It's the last thing you put in, for sure. A lot of time it's just like at the beginning of certain thing, move it to the right and then go to the left and go back and forth. It's pretty easy.
I like that, Clumsy. Can we just start calling him Rascalos? I like
He's a little rascal.
He's a little Rascalos.
A surprise. I'm gonna add a little bit of surprise in there.
think if I was to play Halo Wars 2, I'd want to go back and play Halo Wars 1 first, even if it is awful, because I don't think I ever finished it. I definitely have it.
Halo Wars 1?
Yeah, I have the first one.
Well, anybody that has Xbox Game Pass has it.
Yeah.
But I think you get Halo Wars 1 and 2.
I definitely have it on the PC.
Remember in StarCraft, how they had some of those missions where it was minor base building, but otherwise it was just like traveling?
Yeah.
That's basically what a lot of the game
I
is.
hated those missions.
But there are some, like, they're like, these citizens are under attack and you need to help them out. And so you have to travel around like a big area and help take out these like attacks. But then you have to keep going back to other spots because it's like in Halo when like you have an objective. It's saying to go over your objectives. So
Well, that is the RTS superpower to start.
you don't have to play Halo Wars 1 to before Halo Wars 2.
I played a lot of really good RTSs and a lot of really bad RTSs. And there doesn't ever feel like there's much of a middle ground. Either good or it isn't. I've played some really bad ones though. Stronghold 3 will forever put like a dent in my brain for how bad it is. She got bit.
This is actually being a little easier to do than I thought it would be.
Hello, Filmco.
It's a little phone call. The good thing about the game is it gave UNSC Infinity a heck of an intro. Yeah, I heard it had a lot of focus on that type of stuff, which is pretty cool. Some of the, like ODST was, I think, a really fun game because it lets you play a non-Spartan, and the UNSC is also pretty freaking cool. They're the Spartans are definitely doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but the ODST are the ones there ensuring everything kind of, at least to a degree, is going smoothly. Like all the missions, they're the ones doing all the groundwork. But the Spartans come in, do a lot of murdering, and then the UNSC is the one actually like following up on it. So they're a very important part.
So you're gonna get the Paramount Plus to watch the series that's coming out? Not that much of a Halo nerd.
For one, they're probably going to have a free trial. I just wait until the first season's done and try to get the week. Also depends, is it good? It was brought up in the supporter chat of will they show the Master Chief's face? And I'm like, I hope they don't.
No, that's like the big thing is that he is that helmet. It is his face. I mean, it would kind of get. I mean, the Mandalorian got away with never. Oh no, they did show his face.
No, the Mandalorian did, but the Mandalorian, and I was angry at first when they showed his face. I don't know anything about the lore. It was just like they were not showing his face. Now they did, but the awkwardness that they did for it, and like the panic that he did, like the guy that acted it, for all the reasons he was not supposed to do it, but the fact that he was willing to show his face for that to help somebody or to do something like that against his code was super cool. Like, so that added to the character in that regard. But Master Chief at this point's well past that. They can't show his face.
It's like me waiting for Wildcard to talk in that book I'm reading.
In Halo 1 he took off his helmet.
Yeah, but you didn't get to.
No, it's in the cutscene he takes off his helmet, but they cut it off. Mm-hmm. And if you actually like hack the game to where you can see it, he takes off his helmet, it's just another helmet.
That's amazing.
So he takes that off and it's just another one. It's like, you know that meme where the guy's taking off the sunglasses and there's another pair of sunglasses?
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Just layers of helmets.
Hacking Halo was fun because I used to do it when on Halo 2, but you could just see some behind the scenes stuff.
Did you do that on PC or console?
Console.
Really? Sounds difficult.
you had to. It was weird. I did a soft hack, not a hard hack. So I didn't. It was I used a vulnerability within one of 3 games, and I think I used one was MechWarrior, one was Splinter Cell, and I think I used Splinter Cell because they're Linux based. And so you would basically get this little device that you could plug the memory card into, and it would download a Linux script to the memory card, and then you plug it in, and it could use a vulnerability to, when you load that save file, it would just hijack the entire console and rewrite the operating system. So then it would rewrite the entire thing to put Linux on there, but then it would still run everything Xbox. You still put everything in there and it ran fine. But then I could plug my Xbox in through a USB cord and download modifications to the game using some different tools that were already I was definitely a script kiddie. I wasn't doing all the console crap. There's tools that all existed to do this, but then you could exchange certain properties, and you could open up any game property within the game and change number values and redirect to other ones. And so I did a lot of playing around with that. So making a shotgun that shot rocket instead of every pellet, it was a rocket. Having a sniper rifle that shot a ghost, and when the ghost would launch out and explode, and then it would make grenades and explode then too. A plasma pistol that literally created an elite without any AI or any scripting. So you would just spawn it, and it made them really fat too. It just you stretch out their W.
Sounds like some super basic modding.
Yeah, but the cool thing was photo mode. So photo mode allows you in the game. It made a lot of the buttons have 3 button controls. So it would say if you push in both thumbsticks at the same time, you could shut the AI off. But then if you hit these 3 buttons at once, you could freeze time. And if you had these 3 buttons at once, you could do this, and you could go, so you could free float. But the cool thing is you could freeze time. You could then go to where you wanted in a free form camera, and then take 9 screenshots 3x3, because this is mid 2000s. I could essentially take anywhere from 4 to 8K images, because I would take a 3x3, and then I'd do that 9 times. So it'd essentially be a 9x9 image, and then I'd stitch them all together, and you could make these humongous, super detailed pictures of the game that you wouldn't get anywhere else using this. And it was pretty cool. I really loved playing through the game with that. I used to do a ton of it. I played probably more Halo Hacked on that stuff like that than I did normally.
I've seen a few of your old pictures. They were pretty neat.
Most of them are deleted.
Yeah.
Not that I did. It was the hosting went down.
Yeah. I got super bummed. I used to keep a bunch of old pictures on this Share Shack or something it was called. Some sort of photo
Photo
website.
Bucket?
No,
I used Photo Bucket.
Something Shack.
Shack.
Yes. I can't remember the name of it, but eventually it went. Eventually, they put all my photos behind a paywall. It was free to use, and then somebody bought it, and if you want to continue using your photos, you gotta pay money now.
Photo Bucket started doing that, but I just don't use Photo Bucket anymore.
Yep. There are lots of places to keep photos. You don't I think right now I mostly just use Dropbox.
Yeah. If you're just you can't really share it from there in a public way.
Yeah, but you can use it to post something you want to share.
Yeah, you can
Via link.
You can get away with what you need.
I have a friend over in England who sometimes there's videos on YouTube that are locked in his region. So hey, watch this, it's really interesting. Oh, can't. Well, give me a minute. Dropbox is good for that. I don't know why YouTube blocks things in Britain, so can the US.
Because the copyright code within UK is stating that it is different, and therefore they've stated that their copyright holds, but in America there is not one. So it's just a difference in copyright. It's saying a song from a Korean band might have a copyright in Korea, but not in America. So you can play it here, but then in Korea you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, that's why people like those VPNs sometimes.
Like copyright, but
their region.
All right, see you later, Theo.
Yes, toodles indeed.
It's like the time Batman took off his mask to reveal another mask underneath. Yeah, I like those kind of things. They're fun.
Sweet.
Do you guys have your own personal cloud network in your house? I have
Definitely have the server space.
So the server space that I use for the stream PC itself, I have a NAS drive on there, and that is a public thing on the house. So as long as you log into the computer, I can go. Like on my PC here is not directly connected to it; it's over the network. So I can go in here and actually access all of my recordings. So like here's all the podcast recordings, and here's all the streams. This is not on this computer; it's on that. It's on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is public over the network.
Pretty sure I can see it.
You just have to know the password.
Yeah, I wouldn't even attempt. Like if anything in this thing got touched, and you'd be like, you'd murder me.
But like I have a folder on here called transfer, and so anytime I need to move like something back and forth between the computers, so like if the stream's acting kind of weird and I want to see what it looks like, because now with the TV that I'm using, it's a lot better. But before I was using it running through the processor, and it was on a limited contrast scale, and it just looked more different. So I would record something, toss it onto here, and then open it up on this computer. So this is kind of what that was for. Or like I had needed to send this, which I was going to use as a banner for the 10,000 hours stream, and just put it on the transfer so I could get to the other computer. I don't need a USB drive or to email it to myself. I can just drop it in here. So. Okay, so how does that look?
It's angry and purple. And then show me it purple. I love that anthology skit. So dumb.
That looks pretty good. Do you want to grab?
You know, the internet depends on people like you, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get plenty content.
Like soon.
Yeah. Like there's supposed to be a G5 special in May, but the series proper doesn't start up until next fall.
There's a lot of people still making pony content.
I like it. That's why I said like you. Like it's not just about you. Come on.
Should I keep it?
Look at that face.
No. So should I have this little eye movement?
Yeah.
Because it's normally like if you want to have the eyes move so they're not like zero focus on something. The way I normally do it is everybody has 2 eyes.
Cool.
Well, thank you for the gift sub, Frosty and Cruisin 249. Thank you very much. And hello, Frosty. How you doing?
Yes.
But no, everybody has 2 eyes, and so normally you're only going to be looking at one eye at a time. So just anticipate that if you're looking at one, you can go right and left, and like you're going back and forth between the eyes. Anytime I have a character looking forward without doing much movement, it's a good idea to kind of do some kind of motion so that it doesn't look like they're just like creepily staring.
Well, I thought I like it just because it makes her look even a little crazier. Like she's like screaming, and then she focuses on her at the last second.
Can I get any wider here? No, I think this is oh, you know what? Actually, I can get wider technically, but I don't think I want to. But I will see. So this one right here. Go this way. I think I already have. Oops. What I want to do. I just help. Oops. Oh, I did it again. I'm gonna hit escape. New keyboard, so I'm still getting used to where the buttons are. I was used to an M1 row. It would be like M1 through M5, like for macros that I never use. And so I'm always used to the keys on that side being where my fingers would stop and go to the next one over. So I assumed that the one over from escape would be escape, but it was F1. So
Your keyboard's like twice as small as mine.
it's a TKL, so it's there's no 10 key anymore, which I'm gonna get used to a little bit. I could have got 10 keys, so this is I got a new keyboard, and It's kind of a fancy one. It's a Lightspeed Logitech one.
It does keep changing colors.
Yeah, well, I tried to just shut that off, and I kind of can. I gotta hold it on a different button too, but
Your fancy keyboard's causing problems.
no, I want to change it just so it sits at a low blue, but I haven't. I just need to look at the instructions. And I got it because with the new TV thing, I want to be able to move my mouse around a bit or my keyboard, and I was very locked to where I was before. Now I can actually pick it up and move it anywhere I want, which is significantly easier. Plus, I think I can set up profiles, which if I was able to do that, means that I could technically not use a second keyboard for the stream PC. But I also think that would be kind of messy to try to figure out, so I might just keep it as it is.
You know what
but it is very nice.
You know what I like about a keyboard that advanced? Like if you ever like send a crazy message to families or something, like oh, you guys are a bunch of poop heads, like your mom. Then you can be like, no, you don't understand. It was my keyboard. They got AI in it now. Look at it. It's like trying to take off into space, and it sends like angry messages to people. It wasn't me. You can just look at this thing and be like, oh, yeah, I buy that. That's a crazy keyboard.
The one thing I am liking about it too is it's not clicky anymore. It's tactile, so it does have a little bit of a pushback. It's not linear clickers, but it's not a clicky anymore. So for streaming and stuff, it's not having that. I do miss the clicky, but I got used to it very quickly, and so. But I wanted Lightspeed because I wanted to have no lag delay. When you're running at like 160 FPS a lot, I don't want to have it being delayed.
I miss the keyboards that when you typed, like all the letters were raised. They were all like metal and round. And when you typed, it raised a metal bar that hit a piece of paper, right?
That's a
that
typewriter.
would leave like letter on the paper, so you didn't even need a monitor.
Yeah,
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a 2-in-1 computer printer combo.
It was like, what the heck happened to those? Super efficient.
My dad still has one, I think.
Does he?
But he was a typewriter repairman for years.
Yeah.
So there was times at home we had like 10 typewriters. So that was how I learned to type super early on, was on a typewriter.
No, same, because my great-grandmother, she probably spent more time with me than anyone, like teaching me like to read and write and type and stuff. And she had a typewriter that she wrote all of her letters on. She's like, "You're gonna need to learn to use this."
That's actually that was your grandmother?
It was my grandmother.
She's ahead of the time. Like, I don't think she was probably thinking in terms of typewriter, but it came in handy.
She was showing me on a typewriter.
Yeah. Oh, but even with computers around?
She had a computer, but she thought that the typewriter was still gonna be like a thing for writing letters. That the computer was nice for some stuff.
Do you know, I was actually thinking about it recently, or not thinking about it, I was watching a thing recently about telegraphs. And so telegraphs were the main method of data, like transmission, like email, for like over a century. But do you know how many telegraphs are still going on today?
Like handwritten?
No, telegraphs, like the beep, 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 beep.
Oh, quite a few, I imagine, because it works for international.
Just take a guess on how many telegraphs go a year.
Maybe 500?
I believe it was somewhere around like 35 to 40 million.
Okay.
Because the infrastructure for telegraphs still exists. It's so, I mean, definitely there's been things that have been changed, and some countries don't use it anymore. America basically doesn't use it anymore, but there's a lot of countries where it's still the significantly best way to do it. And many businesses, very old businesses, that's just so ingrained in the way they do things that that's the way they do it. So for very simple messages, it's still considered to be good. And if you need to send something that is defensible in court, sending a message by telegram, therefore being that each telegram has a backup and has a record, means that you can show proof that it was sent. Compared to an email where there is nothing to verify it, it could have been made up.
Well, you have your send folder.
Yeah, but you could just make something for your sent folder. So a telegraph is somebody has a literal record that says, yes, that was sent. One thing, you're done. If you need to send certain official 100% things to be done, telegraph. Though I think to send a single telegraph is like $30-something. So it's kind of pricey. But yeah, millions a year. There's a YouTube channel I watch called Half as Interesting. It's been run by the same guy that does Wendover, and it's just like 5-minute videos where they kind of just do puns and stupid comedy, but usually give you some kind of interesting fact. And yeah, they were saying that telegraphs millions a year.
Yeah, I think as a few years ago, they don't. The government doesn't even require phone companies to maintain the old phone lines anymore. Like the old ones that nobody uses anymore. But I can't even. They're just the old phone lines. I don't remember the proper name for them. But I don't think the phone companies are required to maintain them anymore. They can let them go to poop if they want to. I think anybody who still has a landline just uses internet modem. Magic Jack.
Think I'm done with her.
What? Yeah, is that how you want to lead the bat? Want to like?
Yeah, well, her.
Okay.
I'm still a little concerned with this transition right here with the eyes.
I kind of like it. Personally.
I want to check here because I'm thinking about changing this to have the blur. Actually, maybe it already has it.
Cool.
Well, thank you again, Vodka. Ingress the Sunset for getting a sub. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Vodka. The more you know. I love stupid facts. Stupid facts are the best, and it's a YouTube channel that does like tons of stupid facts. So it's actually, I think the original reason for that channel starting was his main channel, which is the same content but more serious and full documentary. It's actually really interesting as well. But they just started doing some like compilations of stupid facts, and they just made a whole channel from it. And I think that channel has as many followers as his main one now. But coffee equals life. Coffee does equal life. How is that? BRK and then welcome. Coffee is life.
I like to imagine that the primordial ooze on Earth at the beginning of all life was just an alien who like stopped by and spilt his coffee. Like, oops. Like, should I clean that up? Nah, it'll be fine. They flew away, and then a few billion years later, here we are. The product of coffee.
Hey, somebody put coffee on this planet.
Right.
What else is coffee good for? I have no clue actually.
Like you can use old grounds for fertilizer.
I know, but that's after you've already used them for coffee.
Yes. Like, there's actually a good little tidbit. Old coffee grounds can make for good potting soil.
Depends on the plant, though. If I remember right, some don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that with.
Yeah, that's probably true. Like Venus flytraps, anything you do with them will kill them.
They only eat meat.
Well, you got to put them in like a specific soil, and you can't give them fertilizer.
You're starting a religion out of that. Actually, so on YouTube,
This looks sad.
it's about polio people.
Just polio people.
The people that use the iron lung. It's an interesting dilemma because there's some people that use iron lungs because they still have the damage from polio, and that's the only thing that really works for them. But they're no longer produced, and they're like going out of service. So they're all like buying up the last parts to try to just get by with what they have, because there is other things that work better. But for them, after decades of use, it's the only thing that works for them to like, because they sleep in it.
Right.
So, no, on
You got respirators now.
on the 10,000 stream. Usually when I stream on YouTube, I put the "Coffee is love, coffee is life" little text on the corner, because it's true. You make a coffee religion, you will have a successful religion on your hands.
It depends what kind of coffee, because
Yeah.
if you build a religion around Folgers.
The fan of facts you never need to know are the best facts. I think that my favorite weird facts are the ones that don't make sense. Like the fact that there's still millions and millions of telegraphs. You'd think like, why? And I like knowing why, and that's why it's
I could see it being useful for international communications, like important.
No, I don't
ones.
want a hawk as a pet. Probably just go to here. Say maybe that guy, but not popping up. But no, it's I will click the right one at some point. There we go. Yes, this channel. It's actually possible by Curiosity Stream. It was actually really, really, really good stuff, and the jokes are really cliche. And it's a lot of clip. What do you call? Yeah, this all 17 million. That's how many ones there are. A lot of the like pre-bought videos that go with it, but the jokes are pretty good, and it's usually just interesting information that he goes into detail with. But actually, if you're just interested at all in just his normal stuff, Wendover Productions does some really cool stuff. Like they did one recently for ocean shipping. They basically showed and they did 15 minutes total where they said this is a boat that brings stuff from China to America, and this is everything it did for its entire trip, and how it all works and all stuff, and what's broken about the systems and stuff. So it's actually really, really cool because it goes super in depth.
Does sound interesting.
Yes, that's why his normal channel is interesting. The other one is only half as interesting.
I love that pose. He's like so.
She. Did he?
Did I?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, the only thing I need to do now is tail, because she's doing a lot of motion. The one other thing too is, so I was looking at, so the reason I have this part longer at the end was, so she kind of does that, and I thought about, again, doing the like infomercial look, like she's trying to sell something, and I had started some stuff. It's very early though. I was trying to make like a logo thing to put with it. I was trying to make it look hip.
Unicorn Shield.
I was trying to come up with some other name for it, but
it does feel like something that Trixie sold back in the day, and it just kept getting sold.
Well, no, to me, I wanted to put patented because what she did not come up with it, you know, type of thing. But I guess maybe it would be a prequel. I just like the idea that that she has this product and wants to sell it. So I wanted to have that come up, and then like the call now type stuff. But I haven't decided if I want to do that. That's all I did was I copied the animation from this and I extended it so that it just goes for a while. Because all I have to do now is render this, and if I decide not to use it, I just shrink it down on time. If I do, I have the render time for it. So all that would be done in post anyway. Except for the foaming at the mouth. I got to figure that out later.
Ever foamed the mouth?
All commercial coffee beans are derived from wild coffee beans. Yeah.
I mean, at one point or another, they would have been wild. Are
going to be watching Game Theory. Yeah, I like his stuff. Well, it's actually it's not Game Theory's content. I just like Matt Pat. He just is a very wholesome, cool person. And the way that they do things and they run things is great. And Anthony is also great. But is it Anthony? I forgot. No, not Anthony. I forgot the other guy's name. That does the science of. But no, he's just got. I don't know. It's just fun content. I don't watch all of it. Like I don't watch the Five Nights at Freddy's and the Minecraft stuff. But when Film Theory had on some stuff on there about like Good Place, and that was interesting. Just some of that stuff. Squid Games ones were really good too.
I mean, he's not that guy who body slams microwaves, but
no, he's not.
Everybody can be that guy.
But he's not about being outrageous. All it is literally here's a theory, and I'm going to go into details on it and see if it works or not. And I just think that's interesting. It's also it's not about being over the top goofy and funny. A lot of it is just legitimately good information that's just kind of cool to see somebody take it to an extreme. Matt Pett is great. I think he has got. They're doing the million one soon. I don't know what day that was. That actually was a really fun live stream last year. I watched, I think, the whole thing.
Oh, they got Janimations.
Anybody that's big in the community. So they're trying to raise $1 million, but the last time they basically just from corporate donations had $1 million before they even started. But they ended up making $3 million for St. Jude last year.
I think I know who 3 of those people are.
I know a couple, But it's actually pretty fun. They basically bring everybody to one place. They play a bunch of games. They do a bunch of random stuff. They do give away some prizes. It's just fun.
That one says don't trust Granny. Don't listen.
But it's for a good cause. I think I donated like $100 last year during the stream, just because like they were just trying to hit 3 million. I think even Matt Pat and them dropped like 50,000 of money from their own pocket to get them over the 3 million because they were at the last minute. So. No, it was. I just find him as there's a lot of people out there just trying to be cool, and he's just out there trying to be himself, and I can appreciate that.
I'm cool.
Plus, he's in like probably one of the oldest old school YouTubers out there.
I think I'm cool. My mom says I'm cool.
Oh god damn it! I can't. This is. Oh wait. Okay, good. I do have access to a bone. I thought I didn't have access to a bone. It's like right now I want to have the tail be out when it comes to this door, but I can't. Because I can't have it out, it means that the animation, all the normal motions aren't going to fit. Before, you would have the 3 bones that you can manipulate, and then all the other bones would work, would automate from there. So it gave me the ability to control it, but have some automation. Now it's full automation, but then I have no control, and I don't like that.
Wait a minute, the tail has no bones?
I have one. The only way to enable the other bones is to disable the automation. But the automation now is doing this. It's doing this weird wobble.
You don't like that wobble?
When she came out of a door, a wobble like this doesn't make any sense. So I don't like it. With global warming, the northern patches melted, and larger carcasses are now being built. Canada's established a new trade agreement with Australia and France, I think it is. But yeah, and actually that was one of the things that the Wendover went into in his last video with shipping, was they're talking about how in 2006 this was the biggest ship, and now it's considered tiny. But there's some ports that just can't take the bigger ships, so they're still in use. But it was just like the logistics of how all that works and how much crap they can fit onto a single boat that they said. Do you know how much do you think it costs to ship a box of shoes from Korea to California on a boat per box?
$2.50.
30 cents.
Nice.
That's the logistics of that are nuts. That costs 30 cents to send a shoe box.
Yeah. Well, I can still get free shipping from China.
Yeah, it's just because they hold so much crap in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting.
The fact that it actually goes on one of those boats with all that other stuff and still finds a way to your doorstep.
The logistics of it, and they cover that a lot. It's just nuts how that works. It was a well-oiled machine that COVID really disrupted. How long does it take for each 5 seconds of a video, like a ratio?
10 seconds.
That is a very hard thing to state. So
just say 10 seconds.
So like it depends. Like if you look at this. How long do you think that took? I mean, that took me like 5 minutes. Like, to build the whole shot from beginning to end, maybe an hour to do the whole thing. But that's because there's really nothing going on. I had to build the whole background, but then the animation is simple. But then when you have somebody coming out the door, though, this jump here was kind of a cheated one. I used some animation I did before. This one of her landing was an animation I've used before. But this little minute here is going to take more time than this minute. So if I had to take a guess, though, it used to be an hour a second, but I'd probably say it's closer to like 2 to 3 hours a second. And that sounds like a lot, but it's because there's just so much nitpicking you need to do. Like in the background here, everything you see is something that was placed. So the lights in her eyes, all the lights that are on her body, the lights on the grass itself, the trees, the ground, her facial expression, everything had to be put together, and that takes time. Even if it's simple to do, it takes time to do it.
Look this little You scared?
Help me. Help me. The dogs. They're back.
What's a
They're
dog?
back. No.
Oh, that face.
Have you ever
That
attempted
face.
any other software? No, not for animating. There's a couple. Just sneezing.
I like that face.
There's a couple reasons I don't like using any other software. Blender has a lot more fancy tools and more detail, but you're working with cartoon characters, so sometimes keeping them looking cartoon works well, and SFM is great for that. Blender might make them look more detailed, but then you're getting into like G5, and I'm preferring to stay on the cartoon side of things. I have a huge library of tens of thousands of models and tens of thousands of sounds and tens of thousands of textures. Blender, I basically would have to import all that. I would have to start from
It'd
zero.
be a mess.
I was able to build this like entire scene build with what was available within like an hour. So, could I make something in Blender? Sure. But it already takes a while to even make something at the level that I want to do it on here. That would just make even that take significantly longer. It just, so if whatever would take me 3 hours on here in Blender, it might take me 12. And rendering in there to get that good lighting is going to take a huge amount of time as well. You're looking at like sometimes hours per frame. Well, in here, I really have no more than 15 to 20 seconds at its worst per frame. So I can render an entire video overnight. Creator Pony made an animation years and years ago, and he actually had to utilize the community to render stuff for him because it was going to take too long to just render out like a 30-40 second video. So I'm fine with what I have. Is it simple? Yes, but simple isn't bad. So Blender's annoying, but fun for more realistic things. For more realistic things, I don't consider Pony. And like, to me, this looks good and fits the style that I want to go with. There's definitely been more detailed models that have come into existence like this, but they still feel cartoony, and that's what I want. I want that cartoony look.
Hello, snowy motorcycle.
People wonder how eBay items ship free from China is because the cargo containers is fixed price and they pack them tight with the merchandise. Yeah, and it's saying something has $1 shipping is way worse than saying it's free shipping. Just take the dollar hit. Yes, hello, snowy motorcycle. How was it? How was motorcycle doing? For G5. For G5, yes, but then no models exist. So even if I wanted to make G5, what do I use? I'm not a modeler. I don't know how to do what you're seeing right here. I did not make that. I have no idea how to make that. So that'd be up to somebody else to determine that. And maybe in the future there will have something like that. But even if it did, I like the software I'm using. I'm looking forward to SFM 2 because it has some easier things, but then it still stays in the cartoon type thing.
Yeah. SFM 2 is going to be great, but only if they can make a simple work for every model.
Phantom models can be annoying. So you're more the animation guy. Kind of. I like just making videos. And when it comes to that, then the more videos I can make, the better. Higher quality ones, awesome too. But then I'm making less videos. If I can make 3 videos in the time it takes to make one, I'm going to go with the one that takes 3.
I'm happy doing small model edits.
I'm not saying you should try anything else, but if you ever had to try anything else, I probably wouldn't use Blender. There's a bunch of other softwares that are interesting, like Cinema 4D, or there's the Miku Miku one that actually was kind of interesting because the physics in there were really good, and I think you could even use some of these models in there as well. So it's for doing dance type stuff, but I think you can. It does some of the work for you, and the end products sometimes are really good. So
it does some basic modeling. I mainly use 3ds Max.
Okay, so this is also where. So I want to, when she gets out of this door, she goes.
If you like to draw, show them your art.
I'm just gonna go from here. So. When she comes and lands here, she's fabulous.
She is fabulous. Look at that. So good.
Oh.
Oh, strut.
Oh.
She's
got a beard.
Yeah, she does have weird. Weird.
No, so I want to have the tail down here, but the problem is it wants to maintain its standard position, which normally means it's bent. I don't want it bent. I want it bent downwards, but I have no control of that. And so if I want to have control of that, I have to bake it. But if I bake it, then any of the motion is going to be based on its current position, not the new position. So now I'm in a pickle. And that's why I really like the old Tails better. I can understand why they want to automate it. They're trying to make it easy. And hey, it's hair. It's going to follow physics. Yes. The problem is SFM physics kind of sucks. So I don't want to follow SFM physics. It's not doing what I want it to do. Blah.
Wow.
It is gone. You want to go grab me one of the sociables out of there? Actually, you know what? Grab one of the sociables, but I'll keep the cup.
Okay.
Do you like to draw? No. Well. Oh yeah, I did draw. Where did I put that? Oh my God. I actually do not know where it is. There it is. I did this. Behold. Beautiful. I definitely alt-tab back and forth to see the reference. It's actually in the tractor video that's on the thing, because I ended up making this, and so I threw it on there. So yeah, I'm actually really happy. I mean, she's got kind of a bulgy leg down here, but I left it because it's unique. She's got a growth. Horses got athlete's foot too. Such art, bunch of dash. She gotta go sped. No, I'm very happy about this. I love the turned up nose. I don't know why she has a turned up nose, but I feel it gives her she's like more sniff powers. So she's gotta go smell. And I think that hair was also really cheap, but I'm proud of this because this is probably one of the better things I've drawn. I used to draw a lot more when I was younger, but it's not my thing. Would I love to know how to draw? Sure, but I'm not going to put tons of time into learning something new when I can utilize when I already have a talent, and I might as well just work on enhancing that. I'm not going to try and be a jack of all trades, master of none. I'd rather be a master of something.
I feel insulted. I said I feel insulted.
Why?
Because I just jump around from one thing to the other all the time.
And I like doing that for some things, but art is one of those things that I would have to put a lot of time into to actually get good. Years, in fact. And
Yeah.
I don't want to put that kind of time into it because I'd rather just focus on enhancing what I have right now. Why suddenly waste all my time? Not waste all my time, but spend all my time trying to develop a different skill when I enjoy the one I have. So,
besides, the best picture of Rainbow Dash that's ever been drawn is the one that Scope made.
Scope didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't? I thought he made it. He just
No,
added this tagline.
it was. I believe that was under, not salmon.
Okay. Well, that's the best picture of Rainbow Dash ever. Whoever drew it.
I believe I have that here.
If you just type in "Oh boy, Rainbow Dash," there it is. That one. That's the best picture.
I have cleaned it up because this is definitely pixelated. I went through and actually edited it to have it be clean.
It's like, oh boy, Rourke, let's go to the hammock. That's all I see is, oh boy, Rourke, let's go.
This is the best Rainbow Dash.
This is the best Rainbow Dash. What about Rainbow Dash? She's
That's
so
good.
happy.
I know the favorite part is the freaking I just ate all the drug's eyes. And this mouth and everything is actually really good. Like the way it looks.
She definitely got into the edibles.
And just the round butt.
Yes, everyone has is so good. Nobody can compare. All you artists look upon that work and be sad. Because you cannot compare. Now, I took up trying to learn to draw for a bit, and I started kind of getting decent-ish. Not really, but
I think you do okay.
eh.
You do way better than I do.
I jump around too much, though. That's why, legitimately, my OC's cutie mark is a jack. because I'm well aware of, like, I like to learn how to do like something at a very basic level, and then I get bored and I move on.
Though I used to do that a lot. I used to jump around all the time. I get bored of one creative element of my life, and then I would move on to another one. SFM is the longest one I've done, but I still miss that, and so I try to find ways. Like Rathalos is a way of mixing it up a little bit, so I don't feel like I'm just getting stale in one thing or another. I need to learn and build on things I know.
I'm slowly learning to work with Unreal Engine.
I can't draw because it's hard. Only ponies, zebras, changelings. Drawing is hard, but sometimes because it's hard, it means that it's all the more reason to try doing it. To me, drawing is hard, but it's because I already have something in that element to put time into. I'd rather just keep focusing on that. It's not that I wouldn't want to, but when I started SFM, it was hard. Even SFM now is hard. There's been plenty of times on stream that I'm like, I do not know how I'm going to do this. And I've said it before, but I figure it out. Because the harder something is, the more satisfying it is when you actually make it work. Maybe you won't make it work the first time, but you keep at it. And it's never about whether or not you can figure out a solution or be able to get there. It's when you get there. Everybody can get there. It's just some people might get there faster. But
if your
really
goal
try.
is to like build a skyscraper out of sardines, you may never get there.
But, I think you could. It's just, is it worth it? And for different people, maybe they really like sardines.
Your optimism is inspiring to build this fish skyscraper.
I mean, I don't know who would want to, but I've seen plenty of other things in the world that...
It's like... The mackerels, they just don't have the structural integrity for the 14th floor, sir. You're gonna make it happen. Double up on the salmon. Pack them in there.
Let's see, I'm so confused with SFM. I need to watch more guides. Well, if you have any questions, Nolan, let me know.
Here.
I can try to... Huh? Because sometimes it's... I watch some guides in general and stuff, but a lot of the times if it's difficult, it's because you're trying to do something and you don't know how to do that something. And a lot of that's just time. Like I think I showed on the 10,000 hours stream. I mean, I showed all these videos I made. I literally was spending 30, 40 hours a week working on stuff. And a lot of it was trial and error. It was a lot more error than in my trials than it was successes. But it's because you learn more in failing. And so I failed a lot, but eventually was able to every time I did something wrong, I knew that was wrong and I knew I can check that off and it was getting closer to right. But it just took a lot of time. Especially out of cups of coffee is definitely important. Well, they would probably be pretty skanky coffee by the time we got there. And it depends on how high a skyscraper is, but there was actually a guy that he made a coffee mug. He basically used like epoxy and ground coffee beans, and he made an actual coffee cup that's made out of coffee beans. And so something like that would be kind of neat. But you can basically make bricks out of coffee beans if you wanted to buy enough coffee. I kind of want that cup. It's expensive because it's cut handmade for everyone, but it was super cool.
We make it ourselves.
If I unlock the stupid face, do I keep the stupid face? Oh no! So if the stupid face, how that works is if it's a stupid face that's pulled, I think it's only a couple per stream that are allowed, and I think one's already been done. I usually just do something stupid with whatever is on screen or whatever I have available. I'll just do some kind of a stupid setup, and then that's it. So it's just enacting a moment, essentially.
We could make a cup out of coffee grounds.
The guy took he took a bunch of epoxy and everything and a bunch of coffee. So he filled an entire bag of coffee, no, not coffee grounds, coffee beans with epoxy, and then let it all solidify. And then he ground it down in the shape of a cup and then holed out the center. And then basically smoothed it all out and finished it all up and made an entire coffee cup. The entire cup is made out of coffee beans with epoxy to make the shape.
Yeah, that's not how I would do it. It's interesting. I'd probably use like a coffee concrete blend of some sort. The coffee probably would I guess the epoxy kind of makes sense because the coffee grounds would probably start to like, they are organic. So
Here.
just show me the finished product. Yeah.
That's the lid.
Is that made out of coffee too?
No, that wasn't.
I mean, it's kind of made out of epoxy with coffee grounds.
No,
in
this is
it.
what it looked like.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's super cool. He ended up selling it, but and I think you might be able to get other ones, but it was a process. So it actually has a wood base. It has a top on it to seal it and everything. So it's super cool though, because it looks like milk. I like that. It's super, super cool. That guy has some skill. Originally, when I was watching him make it, I'm like, this isn't going to turn out that great. But when he had the finished product, I'm like, oh.
Is that all it takes to impress you? Is to make a cup out of coffee?
Well, it's somebody.
Jeez.
It's somebody making something unique and different. I like that.
I'm gonna make a cup out of coffee. Blow
You
your
learn the
mind.
basics. I'm trying to skip the difficult stuff, like linking bones. Yeah, and you're probably watching me do stuff and being like, what did he just do? I ask myself that too. It's my hands do the work, my brain doesn't. Actually, I'm at the point now with SFM because now I am at 10,018 hours. I'm a master now. That it's no longer about I'm no longer about thinking about what I'm doing. It's more of I just let myself do it. I don't think, I just do.
Which is
And
good because he often does it with alcohol in his
there's been plenty of times where actually no, that's what's great is I can normally hold pretty decent conversations while still getting into the nitty gritty of stuff. If it gets into a certain topics, I'm not going to listen as well. But it's because I don't have to think about it anymore. I can just kind of go boop 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 and just do what I need to do.
Let's talk about the increasing value of corn.
Is it?
I don't know. That's why we got to talk about it.
But what?
We need to know.
What?
I don't know. I think we have plenty of corn. America, I don't think lacks for corn.
There's a lot of things that we thought we had a lot of, and I don't know.
No anymore. I just don't know. Now, if America runs out of corn, we're in trouble. We put that stuff in everything. We eat it pretty much in every form possible, and then we start running our cars off of it. I had a E85, I think it's called. The stuff they have around here, that stuff is like way cheaper than normal gas.
It depends.
Well, it's just whether or not your car can run it is what the big question. It's like $1 cheaper in some places.
And the whole reason that it's cheaper is because they were trying to like make use of all the corn they had, but
Yeah.
in a way, it feels like I think this bone is just completely busted, and I don't know if it's
Tailbone or
because look at it move.
is like clipping through a leg.
Actually, you know what? I think it might work. I'm just going to reduce its motion by a lot and then smooth it a couple times. Now let's see how it works. Yeah, okay, that position, you know what? I could probably reduce it a little less. Okay, and then Jiggle 5, I believe, is the next one in the line there. Yep. This one's the same thing. In, smooth. Yeah, I can keep it now. I just had to reduce it. It was going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But then it has the problem of, so like she lands here, and you can't see her back hair, so I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, with the
But then-
exception of the hair that's like clipping into her mouth.
That
How
I
did
can
you fix
handle a
that?
little later. But like, okay, so when she turns her head right here,
Mm-hmm.
now her hair is not defying physics. It's sideways.
Well, it is kind of going in through her neck.
That's the other one. So I'm worried about this one right here. So this one is defying physics. It's going sideways. I need to actually turn this downwards now so that when she lifts her head, it's not in a weird position here, it is definitely clipping her neck. She could feel the pain.
And how it's so much.
Ah!
It's a tap. Hair extensions. Can we please watch that movie?
I'm sure I had missed
As a
anything
group.
here. As an artist, it takes a lot of practice. I have about 6 years under my belt and 5 years in 2D animation. Yeah, because it's the more time you put into it, the less you have to think about it, and you can start thinking about other things, the other things that are more important.
I might turn that. I know the perfect movie to watch tomorrow.
Mix of coffee with coffee beans, concrete. Well, epoxy is just like a type of glue.
I would probably use like a bit of concrete if I was to do it.
Well, and I mentioned before during any of the streams, the main original reason I started the streams was to answer questions. So if there's a question that comes up, like say I do something and you're like, wait, what did you just do? And can you explain it? Let me know what that is, and I will do what I can to do it. There is a delay, and then like your typing time, and then back to me that you might need to give me context as to what it is that I just did. But ask me, and I will do whatever I can, because I might have to think about what I did too. So, but that is the point. It was really hard because I was originally asked a lot of questions when it came to SFM when I started out, and the easiest way to answer them is to say, watch this stream later or come to the stream and I can show it to you live, because doing one-on-one help was just not possible. It takes way too much time.
That's why you started making those tutorials.
Yeah, that's the other reason I made the tutorials too.
Which I did actually when I was trying to learn a little bit of Source Filmmaker from some stuff I was doing. I did watch some of them. I could criticize, but no, they were great.
I actually had somebody that left a comment recently that was like talking about the tutorials I made, and like they're complimenting them a lot. I haven't made one forever for two reasons. One, I haven't had any topics come up that I felt were worthy of an actual tutorial. And the second being, YouTube is not so good about varying content now. So if I were to put out a tutorial, it would be like, wow, that video sucked. Why'd you make that? It used to actually be kind of passive aggressive. It'd be like, this video underperformed. You should look into changing things.
Wow.
And yeah. If you put out a video, like it normally would give you your top 10 videos that you put out recently. And it would say like per minute by comparison, it would put them on a scale. And if you put out a video that only sits in like the top 8 to 9 out of that range, it's like, wow, that video underperformed. RT Games actually put out a thing that like, are you trying to trigger my anxiety? You make this scale thing that's trying to give me information, but what you're literally doing is slapping my wrist and saying, try better, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit.
And so in terms of that now, YouTube is not built for that type of varying content now. So I'm a little afraid to put out a tutorial. So if I ever do put out a tutorial in the future, it's going to be that I have an animation to go out and I'm going to put a tutorial out at the same time. Because if I put them out the same day, I'm at least flooding it with the good stuff and the not. What YouTube wants and the stuff that YouTube doesn't care about. So
yeah.
Otherwise, literally, if I make a tutorial and just put it out after a month without anything else, I will lose subscribers significantly. YouTube just doesn't like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube maybe a little bit aggressive on the.
Well, and it's understandable, but it's also frustrating. It's frustrating for an animator because YouTube is it's no longer built for the type of content I do, but it is still the best platform by far for what I do. So there's no way to live off of it. I cannot make a YouTube channel that would be self-sufficient off animation alone.
We could do sock puppets.
No, because then you're varying the content and now it's no longer what it is and YouTube's going to kill you.
We could have pony sock puppets. So, yeah, you're thinking about it.
No.
It's a thinky face.
No, I'm thinking because I thought I was on one part for this animation. I was on another. I'm trying to unclip it from her head.
Yeah, and if we had pony sock puppets and then at the end of every sock puppet episode they kissed, would you watch it? Yeah, answers.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with her
She's-
face on this one.
She's gonna be a sock puppet.
She's like, do you want this?
Like, I'll get a purple sock and put a horn on it.
Do you want Michael to shut up?
Now, I kind of get it from YouTube's perspective because they are providing server space and they get paid by
Well, no,
views.
they're
but-
trying. Their algorithm is about like getting people directed to the content they want to see, but it's now so focused on the content that the channel makes has to be ultra focused. It has to be consistent content so that they can recommend that. Because if you can narrow in what it is that you do, they can target people better. But if you start making very broad content, they are going to be broad on how they show things. So now they're going to say you make two different types of content, but what they're going to do is they're going to find somebody that likes that type of content and they're going to show both things to all groups. So now somebody wants this, but they're showing them this, and now they're not going to click through. So now you're only going to get half as much viewership going through it. If you make 4 times, now and you only get one of those 4, you're getting 1/4 as much. But if you have very specific, YouTube algorithm is very good about finding people to pull in because it can figure all that out. But if I start making tutorials and animations and podcasts and everything on one channel, it's going to start sending that out to everybody, and it's going to hurt me in the end. It's understandable the way they do things, but it's also painful the way they do things.
Just imagining a giant YouTube button with a bat just coming up to their front door, like, so your videos have been underperforming. We talked about this. It's just like, sorry, YouTube, sir.
So where do you got your play button over there?
He's just like
hide it.
be ashamed if something happened to it. Just the giant YouTube button.
I don't even think they make the
bite.
glass ones like that anymore.
They do not. It's like an etching now, I think.
No, yeah, it's like a big silver plaque, and now the gold ones are like 3 times as big, and they're made of like a gold material. I don't know. Very different.
Is that actually made of silver?
No, I would just sell it then. Make
Silver's
a lot
not
of money.
Worth that much.
If it was that much pure silver,
If it was solid silver throughout, yes, but it was like silver plated, is what I imagined it would be.
yes, probably. That one float plane. That's I've looked into that. The type of content that is expected there doesn't really work here, and I already have difficulty in trying to grow Patreon as it is, and doing float plane would be even more of that. That's not really the platform. I like the platform. It's pretty neat, but it really wouldn't work for me here. Patreon and float plane would work better if it was my job, but it's not. And so it's hard to provide little extras on stuff because it takes away from the actual content. I want to focus on this and some of the big things, not little things. And it's really hard to when that's only part-time. And I still want to take breaks and stuff. Okay, is there a second? There is.
Coffee plus Bailey's is pretty good. I don't know, but coffee plus gin,
I
Coffee
don't know about
plus Bailey's is
gin.
good. I don't think it'd be that good. I think coffee and Bailey's if I had to do either of those.
It depends. So I'm not a big fan of coffee mixed with alcohol. And one of the big things I remember being on that was coffee is your morning drink and alcohol is your evening drink. So when the hell do you drink alcoholic coffee?
The answer is yes.
So it just seems like there's no time to do that. I can understand it. It's good. There's actually a coffee cider from a local place that I do very much enjoy, but I just don't really see a time for it. I like having coffee. I drink black coffee, and I very much enjoy the way I make coffee, and I like booze. I don't really see a need to mix them both. You can make it good. I'd rather just kind of keep them separate, because I don't want to get a bunch of energy when I'm drinking. I want to be able to fall asleep at night.
You never
A coffee cider, yeah. It is.
I think it's hard to find, isn't it, right now?
So Sociables is a place that we buy from. It's a local Minnesota place. This is actually hidden there. So Sociables, we go there. They're very close. They're in Minnesota. I love them. And what do they call that?
I don't remember. I remember you given it to me before. I thought it was kind of meh. I like sociables, but I wasn't thrilled about the apple coffee alcohol.
Spoke wrench?
It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, spoke wrench.
It is. I was wrong.
So, it is a coffee cider where they actually, so there's a local place called Dogwood, and they get the beans from a local place around here, and they actually steep it, the cider, in the coffee beans. So it actually is a literal coffee cider. It tastes more like a beer in terms of flavor because it's got like that bitterness from a coffee mixed in with the cider. But it is very, very good. It's very enjoyable. If you can ever find it by you, I'd recommend it, but it's probably not something you're going to find local. They have Sociables is great because they're all no sugar added ciders. They are
No boy.
So if you're looking to try to keep your sugar levels down, it's actually, that's what I have right here. I have some lime in here, but this is actually a blueberry cider from Sociables, and it's really, really good. Because it's not an Angry Orchard. It's not like sugar tasting. It's usually a little bit tart and a little bit bitter, but in a good way. So we go there all the time, especially in the summer. We'll go there like once a month or more, and just get it straight from the tap. They actually have a mead too. The mead is fantastic.
Mead is pretty good.
Oh, so good.
Everything there is a little bit dry, and I have heard some individuals refer to the place as pretentious for being dry, but
I love this stuff because it's dry.
I know. I like it too. I admit I didn't like it as much at first, but I've gained a taste for it.
Yeah, I used some of it, like the Scrumpy. I didn't like as much because it felt like it's trying to be sweet, but it really wasn't. It was kind of like a weird sweet.
It was a nice stepping stone.
The blueberry is the Scrumpy with blueberry, and that actually works really well.
I like the raspberry.
But the mead is it's only a couple grams of sugar, and it's so sweet. It's really good.
I like the raspberries. Really good.
So the one thing I forgot about here is her tongue. It's literally just kind of floating in there. I need to get that figured out. So she says, "I'm."
Tongue was fine there. All right, well,
It's just about having the tongue down.
But she's not gonna have it down all the time.
So this is "n." And then she says, is normally like this.
Yeah, you're like saying you don't like caffeine with like alcohol, but I remember really enjoying those. What is it called when you put Jägermeister and Red Bull together? That has a name. Can't remember what it is though. Jaeger bombs.
Yes, Jaeger bombs.
Those were pretty good. And then you could like stay up all night and just keep drinking until everything hurts the next day.
Yeah, that's to me not what I want to do.
That was a younger me. Did stuff like that. Never sure what I would do if I met younger me. Probably be like, you're an idiot. Make the best of it.
Okay, so this is an L. I really can't see it here, so I can just get away with doing a little like this. So here, so I just put the tongue down. But I probably want to move it back a little bit. So here I want to have the tongue up.
I also had a brain sparky water like
Michael's cream liqueur way better than Bailey's cream liqueur. We used to have Bailey's, but it was like kind of old, and we're unsure because it was milky product and
It
wasn't
was
sure.
milk mixed with alcohol, so it was definitely up.
It depends on how much alcohol. Yeah, it was unsure. Also here for a sec. But I had to brain spark. If Fargo likes lizards, does it make him Argonian? Okay, so it's going in reverse.
You activated his trap card.
No, so the name came from Argonian. The name came because early on, when I was making an Xbox account, I hate like numbers in names. So I hate having a name that you just add a bunch of numbers at the end to fit it. And so I wanted something that was just text-wise, all lowercase, so just was nice and flat, even. I didn't want it to be like a pronoun, but I wanted it to be just a word, but unique, where I knew that I could have it anywhere. And so I took the word Argonian, because I was playing Elder Scrolls at the time. I took Argonian and the Daemons, and I just slammed them in together. And hello name. So that is the reason that it exists. So yes, it is. Your thought is literally why it is. So
I have a story about my name too. My mom gave it to me. There you go.
sure.
I think it was my mom. Maybe my dad. If you could have any name, what would it be?
I'm gonna go to my name.
Really?
Yeah, because it's
I mean,
identifiable by
it's a
now.
pretty shitty name, though. It's good to go for the drinks. You don't want to be like.
He's why I drink.
I want to be super cool guy. Be my name.
You can have your name legally changed at any point.
Super cool guy. Heck yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'll do it. Oh no, I'm not gonna do it.
Why not?
Because that probably would upset family members.
Thank you for the follow, Lunacy. Thank you very much. Andrew Void? No. Belly Cigar? No. Actually, I've done that. I'd mentioned before in this video. Wow. I didn't think I would just get there that
He's
quick.
just like right there.
Like laser precision. So Celestia in this shot is actually smoking a cigarette. Because why not? Like legitimately in the actual file, she's smoking a cigarette.
Mortals can't get
I also
cancer,
have
so it's fine. Herpes.
Where is it? There it is. Oh, I thought it was Behold. We also have this one. This is my OC smoking a cigar. This is actually the nickname of Mountain God that came from doing this picture, because while I was working on, I think it was this picture. It was just a little side stupid thing. Somebody said "my God," but they misspelled it. I think it was Penguin. He misspelled it. Instead of "my," he put "MT," so it said "MT God," and I'm like, "Mountain God, sure, I'm the Mountain God," and it stuck for a while. So that's actually one of the reasons. So I have a Steam group. If you want notifications that come through Steam instead of Twitter or YouTube, this group is basically just for the notifications on events, like voila. And that's one of the reasons that the associated games on here are Source Filmmaker and Mountain. So then 10,000 screen. I'm currently trying to watch it all. Yeah, it's a long video.
The thing is, you live in Minnesota, so I'm not really sure if you know what a mountain is.
But I'm the god of them.
Yes. I saw one in a book once.
I've been to Colorado. I've seen mountains. I've been on mountains.
Say that now.
I think I'm going to leave her hair over here. It's small enough that it feels like it could defy physics. I'm definitely going to slow down the wiggle waggle of the tally.
But it's so wiggly and fun.
Unicorn from hell, and I'm coming for
I'd say I think it would be pretty cool to have a tail, but then I don't want to be like.
Well, the purpose of having a tail,
furry.
you have no reason.
Why not?
Why does a horse have a
walk,
tail?
Swap flies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to swap flies.
Do you have flies running around your bum?
Sometimes.
I think you need to use the shower a little more efficiently.
Maybe. Or I could get a tail and I would never have to shower again.
So the flies aren't a problem. Relationships might be a bit harder.
No,
What's
if I
that
had a tail, I could get a relationship. It would just be a different kind
You'd be
of
attracting flies. They
I'd
would
be
just...
attracting furries.
Oh.
That's what I would be attracting.
I mean, really, if that's what you're into.
I mean, not necessarily, but that's what would come towards me.
Alright, so the other thing is the ears.
They're very floopy. I like it.
I think some of them work. I just have to, I have to clean up a little bit more on the others. So this, when they're flying in, yeah, they're just literally going nuts. So we're just gonna round that out. You can, if you watch the ears here, they're just
So
kind of
perfect.
flopping all over. Yeah, that's normal.
Epic
Okay.
horse.
Okay, so that's the broken phase. So let's maybe here. No, that's still broken. Why are they still broken? Okay, we're just gonna pop it out like this and just do it like this. There we go. Okay. So then here they wobble a little too much. So I'm just gonna round those. Wait, why am I missing an ear? Oh, I don't want your butt. I want your ear.
You know, I think you pronounced that Birkin. I don't. That's a difficult question. I don't know.
Hello, Luna. To my knowledge, I haven't seen any MLP fans on Twitch. Definitely going to be checking the stream out a bit more. Well, thank you very much. I mean, if you're a guy, then yeah. If you're considered running, if you like MLP,
I've heard people say they like the show, but they don't consider themselves a brony.
yeah.
But
To me,
that's
brony is not just liking the show. You can like any show, and I'm not going to consider myself of like a specific name for that. To me, a brony is somebody that doesn't just like the show, but somebody. And actually, I don't even care. I think it's the show. It's the people that are a part of the fandom, that are actively involved with the fandom of. I have no care for the content that the official stuff makes anymore. I care about what the community makes now.
the movie was good.
The movie was great, but my main reason for watching that though is so I'm not just spoiled on everything that's made.
It's good.
No, I guess I'm fine with it. I just like the show. No, I the fan at this anywhere with anything eventually. The official content is going to get lower and more and more, or less and less after the content. You're not going to see any more of it being produced. The fandom is going to be the one producing the stuff.
Pony
So-
though is a bit of its own thing though, as far as Hasbro is concerned. Like it's probably going to exist in some form as long as Hasbro exists.
Yeah, it will, but like, do you think that Gen 4 abandoned some people that were into the original?
I think kind of, and no. Because a lot of the villains and characters were
The villains
brought
and stuff
over.
did, but they definitely took a different direction, and it took
Yeah.
a different look. And so some of the people that were really into the original probably felt that they were abandoned.
I'm sure people felt that way between Gen 4 and Gen 5.
But I don't think that there was any official fandom. So to Hasbro, they were not really abandoning them, but moving on to the more current crowd. And the current crowd is still the brony thing. If they were to abandon the bronies, it's not the intended audience by any stretch of the means, but they are still a large enough portion that they're not going to fully abandon them. And so they're going to say, how can we jump into a new audience and still please the old? And that's, I think, what Gen 5 is meant to
Yeah,
be.
and I kind of think Gen 5 is going to, as far as Pony is concerned, I think they, and we'll see going to the future, but it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of stick to a more solid world building going forward. Like Twilight Sparkle and her friends will always be part of the universe that they stay in. They might not always be a focus, and they might not even necessarily ever be in an episode, but they'll be part of that same universe. I think that's how we'll go forward. Look at that blooper. And there it is.
Yeah, they can't abandon them because they'll abandon. Maybe not. Let's say that like bronies make up. I'm probably being generous. Like 30% of the fandom. Like in the fandom being everybody, the intended audience and everything. Let's say they make up 30%. Abandoning 30% is big. So instead they're gonna remake it, but then put it enough to please the 30% to keep them on board. And yeah,
I think it makes sense just keeping it all in the same universe. 'Cause then you can.
My favorite song is Angry Mob. Nolan, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
He said that to hurt us.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a bad song, but if I had to
wasn't the
pick
best
any song out of that was not the best song, it was probably towards the bottom. But the video for it, I think, was fantastic, and him singing it was fantastic. I just think it was a weird song in general.
It was weird.
The vocals for it were great, and the video is great. Everything else, not so much.
No, it wasn't the best song. It's Gonna Be My Day.
No, shut up. That's the best song.
No, it's the unicorn song.
That and Izzy's song was pretty good
Izzy's
too.
song
The
was
unicorn
best
one. True main reason I got into the show in the first place was the fan base and meeting people who enjoyed MLP and MLP content in the BO2 days. Yep, that's same thing. I started season 2, and it was because I ran it up. I started making stuff, but it was because I started interacting with people, and I made a lot of friends, and they're the same people that are my friends now. So it's hard to abandon the thing that started it all. And we saw like going to conventions and like bullshitting with people. The people are going into the original Gen 3 and below that were generally older age, and men were in such a minute percentage. I don't think it's a fair argument. Yeah, actually you're saying exactly what I was saying, is they were such a small portion of the actual audience that they cared about targeting, that they weren't going to impact sales. Because in the end, it's always sales that drives everything. But bronies make up a significant portion of sales too.
They have a lot of expendable income.
And expendable income. So they're abandoning them would be a financially bad decision. So instead, they had to try to find how could we please them enough, and I think they did a pretty good job of that.
So. Target would be nice.
I was kind of joking with my friends, and I decided to actually watch some episodes, but then I kind of got into it. I ended up watching memes, and I'm like, this is a bunch of stupid. Then I'm like, well, I guess I'll check this out, and then I got stuck.
I kind of got into it because of sprays on Team Fortress 2.
And then I found me, and it was happy. Well, thank you. We do stupid stuff, I think. Dr. Wolf reported that Hasbro's planning on a summer YouTube G5 content show using 2D animation. That should be neat to see. Nolan, thank you for the bits, but...
Sorry, Nolan. This is the line. The best MLP song. I mean... Can't talk no more.
Yes. I can't associate with you anymore.
And your mob nonsense. It's all about unicorn song. Now I'm definitely looking forward to more G5 content. It's just gonna be slow getting to us. Because Hasbro.
Well, and we're used to, I think now, being that we're the OG.
And we're not the OG. Like the old, the OG are people who've like been watching it since G1.
But I'm talking about the people that have been watching it since the G4.
Yeah.
We're used to having now a ton of content. Mm-hmm. So I think that we're just like, where's more content? I want episodes every week. We'll get there.
Eventually. Next fall. We'll start seeing that again.
Yeah. But for now, I kind of like it being spread out a little bit. As I'm getting older, time goes faster and faster. So thankfully, it's slowing down a little bit.
Yes, but it's killing us, and we won't get to watch all the ponies before we're dead. It's dark. No, I have to achieve immortality so I can watch Gen 10. And I'm assuming
it's going to be all Griffins.
It's gonna be 20,000K televisions.
No, at that point, there's no purpose. To me, anything more than 8K is useless. Even 8K. Like, I have a 4K TV that's sitting literally a couple feet from me, and my eyes cannot make out every pixel. So there's the, I think of retinal distance. So how far can something be before you can make out every pixel? 4K at this distance, I cannot make out every pixel. So if you make it 8K and double that distance, you're getting to a point where there is legitimately no way I can make out any individual pixel. So why does it matter to go anything more than that?
Gen 10 will just be like an internet plug into the back of your brain, and you get to be in Pony World.
Yeah,
that's the real reason why we need to like.
I think that's why the VR is becoming a bigger thing, and because resolution is becoming less of a focus, and it's starting to become more of a focus on interaction and like being or not interaction, immersion.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see where VR goes over the next, say, 20 years. They ever figure out a way, like, what was that movie, where they had the Iron Giant thing?
The Iron Giant?
Yeah, the Iron Giant was in it. But not the Iron Giant.
Oh, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Get us there, and it'll be fun. Of course, nobody will ever come out of their house. Like,
yeah, but that was also talking about, like people were so focused on those worlds that they use it as the escape from the real world.
Yeah, but that's what I need, so...
But
give me.
But only because they had nothing else.
What else do you need?
Friends. Like, we're doing a whole Thanksgiving thing tomorrow.
Yeah, but I wouldn't need that if I could have virtual friends and virtual turkeys.
But they're all AI. They're not even real.
It doesn't matter. They're horses in my world. All my horse friends. I don't need you.
I'm glad to know that I am nothing but a throwaway. As soon as AI exists, we're done.
As soon as like I can just
Can you still pay rent?
download to the internet. I don't
Your
know.
downloads, your little like chair seat that needs to be sanitized once a week it's gonna charge you rent on that.
Well, you're gonna have to come collect it if otherwise it's gonna be very crusty. Oh. It's gonna be fun.
No.
The future is bright, everyone. Only good things.
So it is this one that's doing the little wobble. Oh, to a degree. Alright, I'm just gonna do all tail in like 3/4. And we're gonna do tail one up. This I only need to worry about a little bit of this tail motion because it's gonna get to a point of it's so zoomed in. Yeah, here. All that matters is what the top of the tail looks like. This is why linear shots is important, because now I don't have to worry about it.
A very angry horse.
Only thing I want to try here quick is left ear. Yeah. Well, you probably put it out a little bit, but it's not going to matter. I can't even see it. Okay. I think other than the bat, but I'm already over time, so. And adding a little bit of camera motion. Right now it isn't, but I'll have to add a little bit of that. So I think the only things I really need to do here,
I was kind of 28 when I became a brony, so I didn't care who knew. So I was like, I'm not easily embarrassed.
Slay this from streamer to chat is killing me. But as someone who's considered a closet brony, it's nice to finally be chill about this shit. No, there's not actually that big of a delay. It's only like 7-8 seconds. It's just normally if I get caught up in working on something, I'm not always going to look at it. Michael's watching it more than I am. When Ready Player One, they had income from it. How much income like everybody can make from that? The most awesome thing about Ready Player One is the RX-78 I've never watched it, so I don't even know what you're talking about. Essentially, the term used in base brony
bike
media.
from Akira.
Describes someone who is brony but never openly shows it or is embarrassed to. I'm 37, so when I started doing a lot of the brony stuff, I was 29, and like my parents bought a coloring book, an MLP coloring book for one of my nieces, who was at that time like 5, and no. 7.
You tried to steal it from her?
8? No, they mentioned it, and I was like, I know who all these are, and they're like, why do you know all of that? I'm like, because I watched the show. I had no caring about that because I'm at the age where I'm comfortable with who I am, and if I go and tell my parents, I'm like, whether or not they're like weird about it or not doesn't matter to me. It's who I am, and a bad parent is the one that says you shouldn't do that. A good parent is the one that just anything you do, as long as you're not hurting somebody, is just be like, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you enjoy something. So, and my parents are very much that way. So I don't care. They're just like, that's kind of weird, but okay. They're like, do you want the coloring book? I'm like, no, I don't want the coloring book. It's for the niece. But it's an age thing. And so if you're talking about like when you first got into it, like in your late teens, that is a very rough time because you're still identifying who you are, and usually that means
there's a lot of social pressures then too.
And a lot of social pressures. Early on in the fandom, it was a cool thing to jump into, so it was a little different then. It's not so much anymore.
It's not the fad anymore.
Yeah, but it's fine because when it was a fad, there was a lot of people jumping in that were watching it for the fact that it was a fad, and there was some very rough individuals that I would not want to interact with on a long-term basis. So I'm kind of glad they're gone.
Now it's just people who generally like horse.
Started at 12 or 13. Oh, you started in that's a really rough time. Yeah. I can understand that. But there's nothing wrong with it.
Middle school.
And if people around you don't agree with it, just understand that in 10 years, you're all going to be in the same position where nobody cares about anything that they do. And they're just trying to identify themselves, and apparently making fun of others is the easiest way to do that.
And heck, because my family all knows I'm into ponies and has for a long time, I get pony Christmas gifts every year. It's great.
Being a brony and not wanting people to know about it is a driving force for me to top weightlifting and my high school football, as well as anything else that would be considered morally, or to put myself out of insecurity. Yeah, but I understand at that age that that's something you feel you need to do, but do know that, again, as you get older, you're going to look back and be like, why did I care? But it's, again, because you're identifying who you are.
Sometimes it can depend.
18 was my age. Yeah, I was old. I'm old.
No, we're young forever. We're gonna live for eternity.
You're physically older than me.
That's not even nice. No.
Anyways,
just weird.
We are done for today. I'm gonna see if there's anybody. We have a bunch of people. Oh, Midprem streaming. We can jump over to Midprem. To raid before because she'll probably be ending any minute now too. Ooh. And so it's always fun popping in there just at that time. Hopefully we beat her.
And then you make her wear a bunch of hats.
Yep. So yes.
Make her wear.
Oh no, it looks like they're still doing some stuff. Actually, I know exactly where she is too. So we're gonna raid her. She's a great artist. If you don't know who Midprem is, Midnight Premiere, excellent artist. She's not arting right now, but That's cool. We are going to be doing a game stream this Sunday. Not, I'm 90% sure what we're doing, but we'll figure that out on Sunday, same time as today. Otherwise, I'm going to jump to Kitty.
Meow, meow.
Some Kitty. And I appreciate everybody for hanging out and having some fun with us.
Yes.
When someone gave me crap for being a brony, I pointed out that means they were a horrible person who didn't believe in virtues. Ignoring is the best way to go about it.
We're kicking him in the shin.
Thank you for the cheers on Null and Void and Night Flara. I appreciate the cheers on that. Thank you to the new follower for Luna Knight, Eurobeat, and Night Flara. And thank you for the subs and resubs from Nightmation Cruisin' and Sunset Serenade Last Lullaby. That is a long name. Sunset. So thank you guys very much. And
Go
I will
compliment
see you guys
Mid-Prim's
later.
new hairstyle.
Yes. Did she?
Yeah, she got her hair straightened.
Oh,
I pay attention to these things.
okay. Well, stick around for some points and stuff. So, okay, we're gonna wait. Everybody say peanut butter. Just say peanut butter. It makes no sense. But everybody say peanut butter.
It did used to be curly. See film shots on this.
Yes.
All right, go say peanut butter.
Go see peanut butter.